Hello there guys, it's another comments on comments video. This is the second one of these I've done today, but I think I'll probably upload this one first because the other one, it thinks it's going to take about 10 hours to process. So my computer is struggling. But that one was dedicated all to one person, whereas this one is for everybody's comments. So let's jump in. Story time. I don't know whether this means my stories are relaxing or whether they just bore you and send you to sleep. Right, this is on my Fortune Island video. I've put up 3 blueprints on the Westwick Festival circuit, 50 laps each. Easy win on Unbeatable in about 40 minutes using an A-Class 2017 Ford Focus. So there we go, a couple of blueprints on the new island for people that have got new island, so check those out from Tiger Fox Blade. I assume this is also your gamer tag so that people can find your blueprints. Probably the best title for a video I've ever seen. I was being honest. Right, I've talked about this one on my other video that I've just uploaded. I kind of don't feel like I really showed off what the expansion was all about, and I think that I should have showed more, jumped into some of the races and things like that. But to be fair, on me, what I showed you on the video is just the way I looked at it. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get on there, drive around, have a quick look, see if I could drive in the sea and do that stuff. So the way I showed the island off is exactly the same way that I wanted to see it. So some of your guys might feel just the same. What do we have here? Also, thing from the weekly events is an accurate description for the god-awful, spongy, bad-handling abomination that they just had to endure whilst doing the weekly event. Sea of Thieves. Yeah, someone else said it as well. Thanks. It was Christopher Lee, but I remembered Christopher Lee. Someone else said it was Vincent Price. So then I started reading. Well, I can't do Vincent Price's voice. Let's think. Let me think of something Vincent Price would say. He would say the word exquisite. But I started, when I read it, I then started to read all of my comments in the voice of Vincent Price. In my head, it sounded exactly like him, but I can't do his voice. But yeah, it was Christopher Lee, and I did get it. All of a sudden, I was thinking when I did it, I was just about to go off that jump, and then all of a sudden it was like, Christopher Lee! I got it. And I was thinking, I wonder if anyone's got their volume up really high and that made them jump. But there we go. So thank you, Jaded Fett. The Viking outfit, you can win it by doing both the Leviathan and the Kraken on the island. So I've not even seen the Leviathan or the Kraken yet. I've not even heard of them. I'm not too bothered about it, but I'm going to get it just for completion's sake. So from Levi Lucas, another Sea of Thieves. I think a few people said this. It was really driving me nuts because for some reason, I had the word pirate stuck in my head. And I was thinking, Pirates, the Caribbean, you know, island of pirates. I just couldn't get away from that, and that was blocking me. I definitely don't think it's just for drifters. I'm massively into drifting, and it's not even the most exciting thing for me. I'll list them in ascending order of what I'm looking forward to the most. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness. I quite enjoy the dirt cross-country, so banging on around the cliffs. First person is going to be awesome. It'll also bring a whole new meaning to sending someone to oblivion. The drifting does look good on a few roads other than the main one, and the main one looks amazing. It does, doesn't it? It looks incredible. I can't wait to watch the leaderboard shout-outs for the high scores on that zone. With my personal best on any normal zone being 240,000, I'm going to really have to try getting 500,000 on this long one. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to look bloody... I think that looks really good for the drifting, and I do think there's an opportunity to get a very high score because there's so many corners, so many. So even if you're just a tiny bit better than someone else on each corner, you're going to be way ahead of them. My favourite low power handling car is the Money Method 82 Porsche. So the 1982 Porsche 911 Turbo. That's interesting. I've not really given that one much of a chance. I like that you can put the body kit on that. So are you putting the body kit in so it's the RWB Porsche or not? 3 tunes. Right. I might have to give that... I like that Porsche, so I might have to give that a crack then. I'm not going to read all this out. I'm just skimming through it very quickly. Yeah, I agree with you. I got the game on the Game Pass. I feel like I have to buy the add-ons because of this. And it definitely wasn't a useless video. Well, thank you very much. It was easily the best look through the map I found on any video so far, and I've got to listen to And I got to listen to you talk for an hour, which is always enjoyable. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you enjoy listening to me waffle on. But you always remind me of one of my friends, because his name is John Barlow, and you're Jake Barlow. And John Barlow is the guy who I've spoke about a few times, who is very, very anal on games. And if he does a corner wrong, he rewinds. And if I'm playing with him, all I'm interested in doing is pushing him off the track, because it just winds him up really bad. He's also the guy that was playing the football game that I mentioned in a previous video, where I hypnotised him and I put in a suggestion without him realising that he could only score 2 goals. And then he just kept kicking the ball off the pitch. It was so funny, it really was. I like winding up John. But that's a sign of affection. But yeah, so thank you for your comments. I did think the video, it didn't really show very much, but the kind of stuff it didn't show, I think, is going to be in a lot of other videos anyway. So I'm going to check out that Porsche. So the one that Jake is talking about is the 1982 Porsche 911 Turbo. It's the one that you can buy for 150,000 credits, and it has a very cheap wheel spin and 300,000 credits inside of it. So it's good for buying just for that. I've got loads of them in my garage, so I might check it out for drifting, see how it goes. I hadn't even considered it. But anyway, moving on. Vincent Price, Christopher Lee. Well, Stephen Todd said both of them. So we got Vincent and Christopher. Oh, those people were brilliant, weren't they? I really like Peter Cushing as well. And I loved all the Hammer House of horror films. But yeah, have you ever seen Stephen Fry's impression of Vincent Price? It's very good. I can't do it. I absolutely can't. I'll try. I'm going to watch some videos of Vincent Price talking and try and do it. A video title needs correction. How to get money in Forza Horizon 4 when you are too stupid to finish races in career mode. There you go. The Fortune Island symbol is missing for me. Oh, well, that's not very good. Have you downloaded the update, reset, made sure you've shut out of the thing, all that kind of stuff? Maybe just reset console might work. It's working for me. What was this? Guide to Blueprints. It helped a lot and got me a new subscriber. So thanks, DKT Mods. So this person's got mods, so I might have a little look at their channel. I'm only videoing a very small portion of the screen at the moment, so if I go to anyone's channel, you're not going to see it all, which is going to be a bit frustrating. Right. Wow, your brother is a dirtbag, and I'm sorry for how your Christmas is. We're all robbed of the actual excitement, even though you were responsible for some... even though I was... yes, this is true. And your parents really didn't pay much attention. Makes me feel thankful to have had parents that kept an eye on us kids. Well, I mean, we were all sort of like... I mean, they bought presents for us. We all played with all of them, so it would have been very difficult for them to realise what was going on. Because I wasn't saying like, Adi won't let me play with my whatever it is, because I genuinely thought it was his. So I was never bringing it to my parents' attention. He did it in such a crafty way that it meant that my parents just didn't realise what had happened. But yeah, it was damn cheeky. Damn cheeky. What we got here? It's cool, and I'm glad that they finally include expansions in the Ultimate Edition, but this really should be free for everyone. If you don't have Ultimate, don't buy it, in my opinion. I mean, I got the game free, so I'm more than happy to pay for an expansion. I do like the island. The Sagaris Forza Edition is one of the best cars I got. I hate the Sagaris Forza Edition. I find it really hard to handle. Accelerating and braking all maxed out at 10. The speed isn't bad either. For my taste, it's better than the Maserati MC12. I've gone off the Maserati MC12. I do need to put a tune on it. If you're driving up and down the motorway, it just squeals and squeals and squeals. That's 10 million in total. Every chest for each round has a million in it. Nope. Nothing more. Yeah, I really struggle with that Sagaris, but... I mean, I couldn't do any of the drift cards whatsoever. My problem was I'd get in the car, slam my accelerator down like a digital controller on 100%, and then spin out all over the place, and I couldn't handle it. So now I've got a little bit more dexterity in my finger. I might try the Sagaris again, because I tried it, didn't like it, never looked at it again. But now I've been doing the drift cars. You kind of got to be disciplined in them. You've got to use the gears properly. You've got to feather your accelerator. And it makes you a better driver. Best thing about this update, the auction house. Right, what we got in here? Oh, this is brilliant. Right. So, the auction house. You must claim any cars or credits that you have won in auctions within 60 days or they will be lost. So, this means, right, if you've won them, does this also apply if you are selling them? Because I've got loads of cars in the auction house that I am selling. I assume that it does, otherwise this wouldn't be a good thing. So my garage was full, so I put a load of cars on auction that are barn cars that I can't delete, and they're still sitting in the auction house waiting for me to claim them back. So hopefully this means within 60 days they're all going to be gone, and I haven't got to think about them. So yeah, that's a way of getting rid of all those extra MGBs. I can't believe there's so many of them. I've got absolutely dozens of them, but every player could only get one. There's one in a barn find, and you can't do that twice. So there's a huge number of people that just chuck them straight on auction. We have someone from Morecambe. I mentioned Morecambe Bay. I assume it's the same Morecambe as in Morecambe Bay up north in England, with the statue of Eric Morecambe on the seafront, where the cockle pickers unfortunately died. Well, it's a long time ago now, but we did have some serious problems on that beach. The sea comes in without you realising it's going to, and then you kind of get stuck on a sandbank and you can get trapped, and it's really bloody dangerous. But it's not a pretty beach. I went up there to see whether it'd be any good for kiteboarding on the beach, but then I went to... Where did I go afterwards? Somewhere around that same sort of stretch of coastline. But yeah, we found somewhere that was good. So Spitfire Buzz's comments. I like this. He always puts like a timestamp in, and obviously makes comments as he's going through the video. So I mean, it ends up being a lot of comments, but I find them really, really useful. So he's talking here about the map will probably expand and there'll be more stuff in there. And I did say, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And also, Fallen UK commented that you get decent cars from those treasure hunts, which is cool. We'll get to that in a sec. Seasons on the island. We're wondering how seasons are going to work. I hope that you can make a blueprint and set the weather conditions and set the seasons the same as the mainland, so you don't have to be in bad weather. But I've not checked that yet. When I made this video, that is my only experience of Fortune Island so far. After that video, I came out of Forza Horizon. I was doing something different, and I've not been back in there yet, so I have no idea about these things that I've suggested. Danger signs? I don't know. Danger signs unlock as you progress. And I never know how to say your name. Cada forever. So I've mentioned it a couple of times because it's kind of a Spanish word, and you say cada dia for every day. KA5, KADA forever. I don't know. I'm really not sure how to call you Cada forever. But you're saying yes, they do. So confirmation, the danger signs and stuff do unlock as you progress. And they had to, didn't they? Because there's so many things you can jump off. They're screaming out for danger signs. But when you look at the mainland, remember when I was trying to get that board on top of the church by jumping off the grass bank, and I spent ages doing it, and then everyone said, hey, if you do the danger signs, they'll put a ramp there for you. So obviously that ramp wasn't there before. But there we go. So here we go. Ivan also said Vincent Price. And it was your comment that made everything then sound like Vincent Price in my head. Yeah, I do like Vincent Price. So the DLC cars are good, but the cars you win from doing the treasure hunts are must-haves. Even though I've had to delete cars to be able to fit them into my garage, the garage limit is a joke. They've got to change it, haven't they? They need to take off that limit. Someone did comment on one of my previous videos saying they have got plans for changing the car limit. I don't know what to, but they're not going to do that until after this expansion. But it's just ridiculous. So I'm glad that's going to change. And also, being as the treasure hunts they lead to getting good cars, I'm definitely going to be jumping into those. Oh, I've got to go on the show more. So where are we? I've lost my ability to scroll up and down. Whoa, there we go. Okay, we're back. So just scroll down a little bit. I wished I hadn't thumbs up any of these comments before jumping into this, because now I'm losing my place. We was on Simon, wasn't we? Yeah, we were here. So yeah, now I know there's a treasure hunt. I'm definitely going to be going in those. So there's a Koenigsegg, the Saline. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce it. But isn't that like malt loaf? And a Lamborghini. I don't understand what you're saying there, but there we go. Anyway, better cars. Looking forward to them. I did notice, I made the video, and then someone said, which is your favourite car off the new ones? And I thought, I didn't know there was any new cars in the update. So I had a quick back look in the game, just to look in my garage to see which new cars there were. And there's a few in there. Some of them are free. So, yeah, there's a few new cars in there as well. Not sure how many. If you look closely, but really look, you can see that that's the top speed. Yeah, I was moaning about how slow the truck was. But to be fair, I weren't changing gears. All right, talking about the places around the map, it looks like the treasure hunt cards are going to go there. That makes sense. Yeah, me changing gears very badly. Right, at 306. Ah, here we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Was that me waiting for a loading screen? It took so long just to get in. And it kept teasing me by slightly changing the loading screen. I was thinking, here we go. We're ready now. It was frustrating. I was kind of excited. Doesn't look like a lot you can do. Can you buy houses? I didn't find a house you could buy. If anyone else can confirm that, that'd be good. I don't think the season changes either. Did you manage to find the last beauty spot? So I've not found it yet, and I'm hoping we can change the seasons with blueprints. Not a bad update. Seems very small and a bit barren. I agree. The treasure chest clues so far are very straightforward. A few people have said to me if I didn't change my car and I'd just driven through that speed trap, I would have got the first one. So yeah, they are straightforward. And obviously, if you don't do it, they start to try and tell you what it is. So they come in on your radio and give you tips. So I don't think anyone's going to struggle with those things. I think they've kind of made it a bit too easy. I think they've said, oh, if we're a bit too cryptic, what if someone can't do it? Let's just give them loads of extra clues. I don't think they should have done that. They should have left it quite difficult. But it is a car racing game, isn't it? It's not a treasure hunt game. Good. So they were using the Gymkhana 10 Focus. Should beat you easily. I very much doubt it. So, so this is the little windy road. And they've got 200,000 on the drift score. So they said, let's see if you can beat me. I've said, I'm willing to take that challenge. And they've done it in the Gymkhana 10 Focus. So I've got that car with a drift tune in it. So challenge accepted. I'm going to try and beat this. Major balls. I haven't seen anything from you for a while, unless I've just not noticed them. But your name stands out because I don't quite know why, but my wife often calls me Stephen Balls, which rhymes with my actual surname, which is Hall, but I don't think it's any reference to my balls, but she does often do that. But she often says it in public as well when we're around other people, and it gets a bit of a reaction, almost like, why? What's going on with his balls? I know I did share this story a long time ago, and I'm going to kind of share it with you again, but it's something that I said in Spanish and got it completely wrong, and I meant to say to the mother of my wife, I meant to say I've changed my flight, because I had. I was going back to England and I changed my flight to a week later. There was something going on here and it was an event that I didn't want to miss, so I switched my flight and we were driving along in the car, myself and my wife in the front, her mum and dad in the back, and I got everybody's attention and very proudly, in what I thought was perfect Spanish, said, I've changed my flight. But I actually messed it up, and what I did say is, I've changed my balls to my wife's parents, which is not the sort of thing you should say. And then they said some stuff in Spanish, and she, my wife's mother, asked my wife a question, and I was like, what? And she had said in Spanish to my wife, why has he changed his balls? Can't he have babies? It was so funny. And I was thinking, right, I come from England, so we have a lot of things that are different there to here. But I was thinking that's not what happens in England. If you can't have babies, you don't go to the doctor and say these balls don't work. Can I change them, please? So yeah, I did say I've changed my balls. I've made lots of other mistakes as well. I meant to say at one point that my cupboards are full because we've been shopping, and I said my bollocks are full. Right, the word for cupboards is cojones. The word for bollocks is cajones. And it's kind of like a bit of a vulgar word. And I just happened to pick the wrong one. And again, it was to my mother-in-law. So yeah, I do make a lot of mistakes. But whenever I see the major balls, it just reminds me of that. So I kind of like seeing it. Right, it's not the most useless video on the expansion. Way better than the brown noses that just say what the devs want to hear, and after only a minute of exploring, it's perfect. Couldn't have done any better. Or maybe this is being a brown nose because I'm from the Nuneaton. Well, not from the Nuneaton, but not too far from the Nuneaton. I love this name. I did say it in the comments. Numfoot Racing. Isn't that awesome? It's like when you're racing, your foot goes numb, and it's like, oh, I can't feel the pedals anymore. I really liked it. It was really clever. So yeah, he was saying that this video is not that bad. So I said, yeah, I don't like it when people do that. Let me have a look here. Oh yeah, I asked him if he knew what Nuneaton was famous for. So I'll tell you what Nuneaton is famous for. Number one, George Eliot, who is an author from a long time ago. I actually went to George Eliot School. I was born in George Eliot Hospital, and we're quite proud of her, so everything is called George Eliot one thing or another. We have a statue of her in the middle of town. She has a man's name because she was an author at the time where women weren't taken seriously. So her actual name is Mary Ann Evans, and she wrote a book called Middlemarch, which is one of her most famous. She wrote The Mill on the Floss and various others. Now, the road where I grew up is actually named after a character in her book. So are most of the roads around the area where I live. Well, I used to live. And not very far from where I used to live, there's like one of those Beefeater steakhouse things. And that's the actual house where she grew up. So she was there as a small child. Middlemarch School, which is close by, is a school that she went to. So that's named after the book Middlemarch. So she called herself George Eliot so that she'd be taken serious as an author, but her name is actually Mary Ann Evans. Right, the second and perhaps even more famous person that comes from Nuneaton is Larry Grayson, who I adore. So Larry Grayson was the host for a very long time of the Generation Game back in the 70s. So Larry Grayson comes from Nuneaton. He is a really, really nice guy. And we used to see him really, really often walking around the town. He got a couple of little dogs and he'd be walking around, and he had time for everybody. He'd stop and chat to everybody. And I mean, you could be sat in a restaurant. I mean, there was kind of like a Greasy Spoon cafe upstairs in the Co-op. And I mean, I'd be sat there with my mum, and Larry Grayson would come in and he'd just come and talk to everybody. And he was so friendly and approachable, and he kind of knew everybody. So he's a really, really lovely guy. So Larry Grayson comes from Nuneaton as well. And because he was gay, and he was treated quite negatively because of that. So he then said to Nuneaton Council that he will never permit them to put a statue of him in the town. So, I mean, we mentioned Morecambe Bay earlier, and there's a statue of Eric Morecambe up there. There probably would be a statue of Larry Grayson in Nuneaton if he didn't conflict with the council, because they were... I don't know why they judged him for his sexuality, but it seems that they did. But yeah, Larry Grayson also come from Nuneaton. And another Nuneaton claim of fame is that Nuneaton is the first town, I believe, in the entire world, but that might not be right, it might just be in England. But yeah, it's the first town to have an outdoor condom vending machine, and it's in Nuneaton bus station. And it's like, Nuneaton has a real problem with teenage pregnancy, so they decided to put this machine in the bus station so people could buy condoms. What a claim to fame. Now, I mean, this machine was put up there a long time ago, and at the time, my sister had just got a job in London. So she was down in London, and someone said, "Where you're from?" And she said, "Nuneaton." She went, "Oh my God, I've seen your town on the news. You've got that condom machine." So that's what we're famous for. The final thing that we are famous for, although it's not actually in Nuneaton, it's just outside Nuneaton, is the Myra test track, which is mentioned quite often on Top Gear. So quite often they will talk about the secret test lab where all the new cars are tested. There's like a skid pan there and that sort of stuff. And quite often Top Gear actually go there to film. So Jeremy Clarkson sometimes says, go down the A5, past Nuneaton. If you get to Fenny Drayton, you've gone too far. And Fenny Drayton is just a little tiny village that's just outside Nuneaton. So that's what Nuneaton is famous for. Let's have a look. Right, they supposedly came up with the game Rugby here, but oh yeah, so this guy's from Rugby, which is like a town that's just a little way away, and they reckon that they came up with the game of Rugby there. The story goes that there was this guy that was... He was a student at the school, and his dad was very well-to-do. So whatever the student did, the actual people at the school praised him for everything because his dad was such an important guy. I don't know whether he funded the school or anything like that, but the student couldn't do any wrong because of this. So they're playing a game of football, and this kid picks up the ball and starts running with it in his hand. So rather than reprimanding him for this, because that's handball, they said, "Oh, what a brilliant idea, let's run with the ball." And therefore the game of rugby was invented. So whether or not that's true, we don't know, but that is the legend of the invention of the game of rugby, which comes from rugby. So yeah, that's where this guy's from, which is not far from Nuneaton at all. Yeah, I did like the name. I thought it was pretty damned awesome. It was very good. So let's thumbs up these. and progress. So, Playground Games have said that there are no player houses on Fortune Island. So there's that question answered. There's none. Also, there are 5 or 6 new cars to be picked up from the DLC cars section. Yeah, I did see there was a few cars. I didn't see them in the DLC. I actually went into the showroom, and I went through the showroom just looking for ones that said new. So that's the way I found them. I didn't see them in there. Right. Shift. Sorry, not shit. Shift. For the love of God, shift. I know, it's so bad, isn't it? And you need to drive through the speed zone in the truck. Oh, so this was the person that said that. So the first treasure hunt, stay in the truck they give you, drive through the speed zone, and then you get number 1. Excuse me. But yeah, I had my headphones on. I could hear the car, but I just kept forgetting about it. So there we go. 12:42, flicks from 2nd to 3rd for a relatively standing start, and wonders why the 300S is going so slow. Yeah, I'm so bad with my gears. Right, I'm not that bad if I'm actually racing, I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, and I'm not making a video. But when I'm making a video, I don't know what happens. I mean, I did used to blame it on the TV being turned down and not being able to hear the car, but even when I've got headphones on, I still mess it up. Right, my personal experience. Let's get this a little bit bigger. Oh, there wasn't much in there. Drive through the speed zone. This looks awesome. Dashboard. Feck. Load. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Forza Horizon 4 again. Retravel back to Fortune Island again. Okay, off we go. Race number 1. Dashboard. For fuck's sake. Load Forza Horizon 4 again. Retravel to Island again. 30 minutes exploring. Treasure chest. 1 million. Dashboard. So the game is crashing and crashing and crashing, which would be incredibly frustrating. And here I am moaning about slightly longer load times. Why would you build a castle in a place with no Wi-Fi? Yeah, exactly. Why would you? Right. Forza had me stoked with the 2 Hondas. Then I go to the new shit, and it's shit. Because they think we all like bad weather. Yeah, I know, right? But anyway, I start a race. There were 3 available, and the race is trash. I was playing solo because nobody joins a fucking race, and the driver tars and the map was garbage. The race starts off with a fucked up zigzag that is shit. Then you've got 200 foot and miss a fucking checkpoint that's outside of the race. I am pissed. I'm glad for the few cars they've added, but what the fuck, Forza? You know what I think they do, right? I mean, I said down here, what they should do is look at the blueprints that people make and look at what weather we're choosing and see what percentage of their fan base want to actually drive in the rain. I genuinely believe that it's very easy to make a game look really impressive in the rain. You know, the shiny puddles, the rain on the windscreen, the droplets being pushed off by the windscreen wipers. You know, it looks really, really good. So when you look at the game, you think, oh my God, that looks amazing. I can remember when, I think it was in Dirt 2, which I think was the first game I saw, that when you're in cockpit view, the windscreen wipers push the water off and the water's going along the side window, and it looks really good, and you're splashing through the puddles, and it changes the dynamics of the driving. And there's a lot of stuff they can do in rain that is impressive. And I think they kind of like showing off their ability to do that. And also games have got bloody good at water lately as well. Whereas also in the sun, if it's really sunny and the sun's glaring off the tarmac and it's blinding you in the car and you've got all the sun rays, that also looks good. But those 2 extremes are not so easy for racing. You just can't see, or it interferes with how you're driving. But when the weather is just like overcast and there's no rain, it's not overly sunny, and the tarmac is dry, it's easier to drive, and that's probably what most people really like driving in, but it doesn't look amazing. It just looks average. So I think that's a bit of a factor. I think that when they put the weather in there and then they showcase that on when they've got a new game, people just go, oh, wow, that looks so awesome. So I think that's a little bit of a factor. All right, if you want to get mad, check out the Scramble or whatever the driver tars. I'm not sure. It just happened to me, but it made me pissed. Yeah, I hope they change some things. And there are some problems. Let's hope there's a bit of an update and they sort it out. Whoa. Oh, no, that's okay. There we go. Got problems here. Right, this next comment is from Jim. I've devoted an entire video to Jim's comments, so I'll just skip them. Why does it keep flashing white? I don't know if you're seeing that as well, but my screen just keeps going white. So yeah, I've got an entire video that's devoted to all of Jim's comments, so I'm just going to skip straight through them on this one. Right, we've got problems. It just keeps going white. I'm not sure what's going on there. What we've got here from Robsan. I really enjoyed messing about on Fortune Island. It doesn't seem very small when you drive the actual roads. Well, they are quite windy, aren't they, really? If you do what I do and just go straight line from one side to the other, it is tiny. But when you've got to do a big windy road, it's actually not that small. Just kidding. It is blueprint heaven, though. Several really fun dirt roads, as well as the tactical tarmac. Can't wait to see what people come up with. Lots of creative potential and some jumps and transitions. Yeah, I think you're right there. When we're using some of the driver tiles, it's going to be good. The treasure hunting was actually really fun. Fallen UK and I got them all done. The puzzles definitely aren't very challenging, but it makes things more interesting than standard barn finds. Cheers and good luck to everyone on their Fortune Island ventures. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's a little bit more interesting than just a barn find. It's nice that they did think about something a little bit more, and the fact that it is an island, the treasure island, it kind of all works. So yeah, you've got some really good points there. What the hell is going on with this whiteness? Ooh, that's weird. I'm in Chrome, which I don't normally use. I normally use Safari, but the reason I'm in Chrome is because I am currently uploading a video using Safari to a different YouTube channel to this one, to my hypnosis channel. So there's a video uploading there at the moment. There's no point in going and looking at it. It's actually a private video. It's just a tutorial I've done for a friend. So it's set to private, and I'm just going to send him a link to it. But I put it up on that channel. I should have put it on this one. But that means that on Safari, I'm logged into a different account. So I had to open Chrome to log in on here to be able to make this video. So I don't know whether it's Chrome that's got a couple of issues or something. But I do apologise that it keeps going white. Right, I finished off the night by completing Drift Club 2.0 in the hope of getting the elusive Forza Edition Capri, but to no avail. That Lambo for getting all of the chests, oh wow. So, yeah, there's a Lambo. Have one more idea for how to get the Capri, so we'll be on that tomorrow. Good luck. Do we know if the Capri is even available? Does anyone know? I don't know. So every time I click a thumbs up, it just flashes white. Isn't that weird? Another one from Jim, so this is in the other video, so I'll skip through that. Hi, try to do your cross-country circuit on the video. It shows as a CZ event, but in the game it's dirt racing series. I ran the circuit twice and won both, but it didn't work for me. Right, so, Glenn, make your own. Just make a blueprint for yourself and set it to cross-country, so you're going to do exactly the same as what I did, and then it should work for you. So, I mean, the blueprints, they are full of issues and problems, so just slap your own one down there. This is unfortunate, look. So somebody wants the Fortune Island. It's their 15th birthday, but unfortunately they're in... I cannot read this without cringing. They're in hospital because they've popped their knee. I just hate the sound of your kneecap popping. It's horrible. So I hope you get better soon. I did mention in my comment that in Colombia, the 15th birthday is the most important one, which is really weird. That's so strange. 16 and 18, they don't really bother about at all, but 15 is that important. But also, I mean, like, there are things that happen at the age of 16. There are things like, at 18, you're allowed to go into a pub and buy drinks and smoke and stuff like that. And, there's a reason, I think, that 18 is a significant birthday in England. And 21 as well. They say 21 key to the door. I mean, there's no rule about now you can get married and buy a house, but it's just kind of like the age people do those things. But 15, there's nothing. I mean, also in Colombia, there's nothing for 15, but 15 is the special birthday over here. Yeah, that's so weird. England is the only safe place. Oh, lovely. That is weird. Just how, though, is my question. Right, where are we going now? I live in the US, and sadly, in Article 13 passes, then England YouTubers won't be able to make any more videos anymore. I'm in Colombia, so I'm not sure how this affects me, but I was looking at some of the things about this, and the way I'm looking at it is, in Europe, some of your videos won't be shown if they've got someone else's content in them, but it's not very clear when they're talking about games. If they're talking about... like a music video in your video, which is someone else's copyright, then obviously it's very clear on that. Someone else owns the video, and fair enough, it's their property. Someone else owns this game. It's fair enough, it's their property. But if I'm doing a review of the game, the person that made the game kind of wants me to do that. It's like gamers want YouTubers, game creators want YouTubers to showcase their games. So I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe we'll have to get permission. Who knows? But I don't know one way or another. I think for some reasons it's a good thing, for other reasons it's a bad thing. The language is not clear enough to know exactly the way it's going to impact things yet. But I think that's the same with all laws and regulations. It's incredibly frustrating when we have a regulation that gets passed where the language isn't obvious. And I kind of think there should be two rules that override everything else. Number one, all legal documents should be written in a language that a 10-year-old average schoolboy can understand. And if they're not, then they're not valid. They absolutely should be incredibly easy to understand and no possibility of them being interpreted the wrong way, even for a child. I think that should be an absolute rule that applies everywhere. We shouldn't have all that flowery lawyer language that you have no idea what you're signing up to. It should be clear, succinct, and simple to understand. That should be the law. Number two, the law of common sense should override everything. So we've got to think, I mean, if someone breaks into your house and they hurt themselves, they can sue you. That's fucking ridiculous. The law of common sense just say, no, they shouldn't have been in your house. We're overriding this law that protects them with the law that protects your property, and they have no rights anymore. You broke the law, you've got no rights. That's the way it should be. But yeah, I do think, for me, I really think that things like privacy policies and, like when you sign to a contract or something, I mean, a contract for your phone, does it really need to be that long and that complicated? I definitely think that the world should be, if a 10-year-old boy can't understand this, then it doesn't apply. As simple as that. It's like, if you can't write your terms and conditions on one page, then you're kind of, what's happening here is not it's not right. It just really isn't right. There's manipulation going on. It's not fair. That's just a debate about all this sort of stuff. Get well soon. Oh God, we've got the white screen again. Another one from Jim, so that's in my other video. I don't think no, there's no new ones, so all the Jim ones are in the other video. So yeah, it was Sea of Thieves. I was trying to remember the name of that game. I've said that already. So this person loves Sea of Thieves. Right, when I first saw it, I downloaded it on the game. I always download everything on the Game Pass, even if it's something that I don't think I'm going to play, because I think, God, it's free. I might as well look at it. And I haven't even loaded it yet, but I've never seen a bad comment on it. It's like every comment you read about Sea of Thieves is really, really good. So I do want to get into it. But I have just got, I've just downloaded Monster Hunter World. And oh my God, it looks amazing. I only downloaded it because there was a free demo. And I honestly thought it would be a bit rubbish. I downloaded the free demo. I think it's amazing. Now, in my other video, I do mention it a little bit. I mean, just making the character, you can have 2 different coloured eyes. That's just like, what? That won me over straight away. But yeah, it looks brilliant. So I immediately then went back and bought it because it's on half price at the moment. Another one from Jim, so that's in the other video. That's how I do danger sign. Saves loads of time. Yeah, this was a danger sign. Jump, rewind, jump, rewind, jump, rewind. Can't wait to see you flying your Morgan three-wheeler to get... I've got your... I was in the Morgan three-wheeler the other day, and I've downloaded your design, the white one with the red wheels. So that's what I'm in now. That's the car I've been driving, and I was just having a little bit of a drift in it. So I was fiddling around in it. Can't wait to see you flying your Morgan three-wheeler to get Treasure Chest 10 on the Fortune Island. Oh, no more. So yeah, I've now got your tune. Not your tune, your design. So we're going to have a white screen every time we click that button, are we? Right, Colton Campo, I like seeing your comments because it always reminds me about Procreate on the iPad. And it's kind of, whenever I see a comment from you, I always go, I think I'm going to go and draw something. And I often do. Right, I have my plan of what I'm going to do in the day. I'm doing different bits and bobs. I play a game, make some coffee, have a look in some comments, see a comment from you, and then all of my plans go out the window. And then for the next hour and a half, I'm sketching some portrait of somebody on my iPad. I love it. I really do. Was it you that got this one before? I thought it was a different name, but let's have a quick look at your channel. Because if it was you, got some drawings on your channel. Oh, I'm really far away from the Wi-Fi. Oh no, it wasn't, because yours are... Oh, you've just got some light videos. Oh, you've only got 3 subscribers. You haven't got any... Oh, you do have some upload videos. And yes, it was you, because I watched this. So I watched a couple of your videos, and they're about drawing and a few drawing tips. So they kind of just your logo, just that little picture there, that gets me on my iPad. I've got the iPad Pro. I've got the pencil, which originally I thought, yeah, awesome. I've got the pencil for Procreate, but I'm not using it on there. I mean, you can zoom in so far that your finger is like a fine liner, and I'm finding that enough. But I love it. I love using that. It's my... I take that on a plane with me just so I can draw while I'm waiting in the departure lounge. I'm always having a little bit of a sketch. So yeah, I do like it. Maybe one day I'll start uploading some of the pictures. And the thing I really love about it is the way it records it. So you can watch your drawing afterwards. I'm not brilliant at drawing by any stretch of the imagination, but I do enjoy it. So, what's going on here? Oh, sorry. It was. I mentioned this earlier. So it was your comment that said, "What's your favourite car from the new thing?" I didn't realise there was any. I went in and had a quick look, and so now I have seen that there are some cars, but I've not really given any of them a try yet. First, oh, that's horrible. So I don't know why it's doing it. It must be something to do with Chrome. I don't normally use it though. I mentioned this comment a lot on my other video where I'm just talking about Jim's comments. But yeah, I talk about this quite a lot. If you're watching this, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Muir? Mr. Robertson. So if you're watching this, please do check out that other video. There's quite a few things in there that I'm saying that I think I really want you to hear. So do check out the comments and comments. It's called Comments on Comments by Jim. And it's all about this guy here. So I'm just talking about this guy's comments. So yeah, please do check out that video in there because there's some stuff in there for you. So moving on. I always get frigging skirts. Skirts that are designed for frigging with a handy pocket at the front. Frigging skirts. Oh, brilliant. I suppose you could have fucking skirts as well, which is designed for fucking, like a mini skirt. Very easy access. Women's shoes, 5,000 credits or a shitty car that I've got plenty of times. All those ugly t-shirts with Rally Monster, Retro Salons. Yeah, no one wears those. I've put the Drift Club one on at the moment, actually. But yeah, there is a lot of crap on those spins, aren't they? There really are. Great Forza Horizon 4 tips, but the Christmas stories really are the cherry on the cake here. Bravo to you, sir. Thank you, Joe Goodman. So, yeah. Which Christmas stories were they? Oh, it was the my brother with the presents, obviously, and us opening the presents early. Oh, it's really nice when something from a comment or a video reminds me of a story that's from my childhood, and it's something I haven't thought about for a long time, and then that all comes flooding back. So, I mean, what I was talking about on here is when we got the ZX Spectrum 48K for Christmas, and then I started thinking about, we used to go into computer shops in the town, all the computers were on the shelves, and we'd like write little programs to make the computer do stuff. It used to drive the staff really crazy, but I mean, I forgot all about that, but it was awesome. And when I'm telling these stories of my childhood and things that happened, it reminds me of things that are very nostalgic, so I like it. So, dude, I love your channel. Your storytelling ability is fantastic, and you're diligent about making informational videos. No, I'm not that diligent about it. I'm glad to hear your drifting skills are improving. They really are. They are getting a lot better. It's starting to feel good. And yeah, I did jump into Dirt 4. I thought I'm going to have a look at some of the other games I don't really play anymore and see what they're like now that I can drift a little bit. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to a bit more of that. Great video. How do I add you as a friend to access the blueprints? I've answered this, and I do mention it a couple of times. Okay, cool. I never would have figured that bit out. I'm ddubnasty on live, but I'll try your first suggestion. Yeah, the thing with the blueprints, if you go into the Creative Hub, go to the designs, make sure you change it to any car, and then search for the person that you want to follow by creator, then you can see their designs if they've done any. And then you can follow that creator, and then sometimes that makes their blueprints show up. So if any of you guys have made blueprints, then just chuck up some design as well. You know, just paint a car, chuck it up in the design, the creative studio, so that if people are having trouble finding your blueprints, they can find them that way. So yeah, if you're sharing blueprints, make sure you do that. So, miserable old git, you had a Commodore, right? This obviously means that you were very wealthy. It's like a Commodore. It's like my school only had 2 Commodores for the entire school, right? These were, I mean, all of the business people were the Commodores. And then we had the working class parents like my family, and they were like, hey up love, there's a computer that's less than £100. I reckon we might get that for the kids. I think the intention of all the parents that bought kids the ZX80, then the ZX81, and then the Speccy 16K and all of those, was computers are the future. If we get a computer for our kids are going to be rich in the future. I definitely think that was the mentality. And then we've got Sinclair, Sir Clive Sinclair. Actually, one of my brother's friends had a C5 and he used to ride it to school. It was amazing. So we used to see this Sinclair C5. If anyone doesn't know, actually, I'm going to quickly show you. For any people that are too young to know what this is, I'll very quickly Google it and make sure I spell it right. Sinclair C5. So this was a car that came out in, it must have been in the 80s, and it was like supposed to be the future. So this is the Sinclair C5 from Clive Sinclair, the same guy that made the computers. Here he is in it. So this is Clive Sinclair in a C5. And one of my brother's friends actually had one of these, and he went to the same school as me. He was several years older. He was in the last year when I was in the first year. But yeah, he used to drive it to school. So imagine being in this, going to work. This was Clive Sinclair's vision of the future. People going to work in one of these, driving alongside all of this traffic. I mean, insanely dangerous, unless you get wheels on it like this one. The Sinclair C5. I mean, this was, in the 1980s, this is what we thought the future was. I wonder if any car racing games have a C5 in them. There you go, the Sinclair C5. Oh, that's where I want to be. So yeah, Miserable Old Git had a... Come on, come back. That's not good, is it? It keeps going white. I really don't know what that's all about. So yeah, I had the Speccy, and a Miserable Old Git had a Commodore. So I said that just means your parents are rich, and 2 people have gone, yep, they definitely were. So I liked the Spectrum, I really did. I learned to program in BASIC, I got quite good at it, and I really, really enjoyed making my own little programs. I couldn't do much, but my brother was really good at basic computer programming, and he actually wrote quite a few really simple games. He wrote one, what it was, when the game loaded up, it was so addictive. The object of the game was to get from the bottom of the screen to the top. And when the game loaded up, there was like a random selection of pixels just appeared all the way across the screen, like a star field of pixels. And then you were this tiny little dot at the bottom of the screen that was continually just bouncing up and down. And the only thing you could do is to move left or right. So if you pressed left or right buttons, your dot bounced to the left or the right. So the object of the game was to try and bounce onto one of the other little dots, which was like a little platform, and try and bounce your way to the top. It was really, really difficult. And it was so addictive. Me and my mates used to play that no end. And my brother wrote it. Now there are games that are a bit like that. You know, like, it was, I tell you what, it was incredibly similar to Doodle Jump. That's what it was like. But it was just a dot bouncing onto other dots. But yeah, he wrote that, I mean, in the mid-80s, using BASIC on it would have been at the time on the 48K ZX Spectrum. I mean, 48K, that's smaller than, a lot smaller than one picture on your phone. But yeah, I love that game. And he did this for quite a while. He wrote quite a few little games like that. And I was writing a few things as well. I can still remember, you know, if in keys equals Q, then X equals X minus 1, and your character would move up. And it was, I mean, the BASIC made sense. And I mean, we always used QA for up and down and OMP for left and right, spacebar for jump. It's so nostalgic. I absolutely loved it. But he was good at it. He could write games that were enjoyable to play. And obviously we didn't have decent graphics or anything, so they had to be playable. So yeah, my brother did that. But he then, when he left school, he went on like a youth training scheme for computer programming. But something happened at the youth training scheme that meant he got kicked out. And he then, after that, the only job that he could kind of get was a carpet fitter. So he started being an apprentice carpet fitter, and now he actually owns a carpet shop in Nuneaton. So he sells carpets and he fits them and stuff, and he's got quite a successful business out of it. But his career was looking like he was going to be a computer programmer, a game developer, and I wished he'd have continued along that path, because those early games that he did, I can't remember any of the other ones. He did loads, but the only one I can really remember was the one with the dot, where you just bounced up the screen. But yeah, just like Doodle Jump, that's just what it was like, but it was just pixels. But yeah, really, really inspiring to see him do that stuff. It was really cool. So this is about my playthrough on Mutant Year Zero. I mean, I've mentioned a couple of times, these videos are not popular. Every time I upload one of these, I do lose subscribers. They don't make any money or anything like that. I'm enjoying playing it. I think it's an amazing game. I will continue uploading videos on this until I've completed the game. But Jake, who we saw earlier, he says he loves these videos and it sucks that other people are not enjoying them. I definitely agree with using... Oh, I said about... I kept saving over my save, and then the video file was corrupt, so I couldn't do it again, so I lost some of the footage. So I was really annoyed about that. But yeah, I'm going to stick with these. I enjoy them. What I lost was such an epic battle. It really looked like I was going to lose, and I pulled it back with some genius strategy at the end. I was so pleased with myself. I was like, yeah! And I killed one of the strongest foes in the game that I've seen so far. It was so satisfying. Yeah, I've been doing a playthrough on this. It's a really, really enjoyable game. But I know it is hampering my channel, because every time I upload a video on this, I lose subscribers. But my channel isn't a Forza Horizon 4 channel. My channel is me playing games. It just so happens that my Forza Horizon 4 videos seem to be the most popular, and that's what has attracted most of my subscribers. But we do have new games coming. As I said, that Monster Hunter looks amazing. Now, I'm going to make a video just on the character creation because I'm so impressed with it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be uploading on that. I want to get through this game first, though. I want to finish my playthrough on this. And also, I've been having a lot of recording issues, especially when I play Red Dead Redemption, which I think it's because it's a bit more demanding on the power from the Xbox. So I'm trying to sort out those problems so the video files are not corrupt, and then I'll get back on Red Dead Redemption when that is fixed. So, moving on. These programs were great. This is from Codemasters. So Codemasters, I think, come from Leamington Spa, which is quite close to where I used to live in England. I was in Nuneaton. Leamington Spa is not very far away. There's a couple of young lads, and back in the 80s, they used to write... They were a little bit older than me, but not much older. They used to write games, and they used to send up the code for the games, all written in BASIC, to the computer magazines. So you'd get the computer magazines every month, and you would... I've just thought of something. I'll tell you this in a second. You'd get the computer magazine, and then when you got it home, you would type out the entire game that they had written, and then you'd have a game like Space Invaders or something. And it was so fucking rewarding to do that. You were sat there typing this code, and then at the end, you run the code, and you've got this game. I've just remembered a couple of things. Right, number one. My brother used to spend hours and hours and hours writing out these codes. And then at the end, there was a thing that he used to do every single time, and he used to do, I can't remember the exact combination of keys, but he never used to save what he'd done, and he used to kind of like press select, like kind of like select all. It's not exactly this, but it's the equivalent of this: select all, escape delete, select all, escape delete, select all, escape delete, and he'd do that over and over again really, really fast. But if he got it wrong, he would accidentally do select all, delete, and everything he'd done would be gone. So it wasn't exactly that, but that's kind of like the modern day equivalent. So my brother never used to save the games, and every time he'd written one out, he used to do that little challenge for himself, which would, if he got it wrong, result in everything being deleted. So yeah, that was his challenge. Another couple of things. If you remember a game called The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which was a brilliant, brilliant game back in the 80s. Really, really simple. It was just a massive maze, and you ran around the maze, you tried to find this key, and then you unlocked this this special place, and the Warlock would come running after you. It was kind of like a top-down view of this maze. But when you looked at the screen, you could only see like your character in a little bit of the maze, just a tiny bit of the maze, because it was quite big. And the maze was really huge, so you kind of had to find your way around. So what my brother and I did one day is we played the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and we had this massive, massive piece of paper. We'd stuck a load of paper together, and we drew out the maze. It's like I'd got the paper stuck to the wall out, and my brother was slowly going through the game, and I was drawing the map as he went through it, and we mapped out the entire Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Then we played it again, and we realized, I mean, it took fucking hours, and we realised that the map is randomly generated on every game, and they are all completely different. Right, so we'd mapped out this thing, it was totally useless. But on another game, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a tick attack or something like that. We drew out a map for that, and we sent it into one of the magazines at the time. And I can't remember the names of the magazines, but they published our map in the magazine that we'd done. My brother did this one, and they sent us like a T-shirt and like a goodie bag of things for actually publishing the map. But yeah, that was awesome. For ages, we had that our map published in the magazine on the wall of our little computer room in the house. It's like in my house where I grew up, underneath the stairs, the place where you normally hang your coats and stuff, there was a door there that went through to the kitchen. But my dad had bricked up that door, so that was kind of now a little dead end. And it was kind of like a little tiny room. So we had our computer in there, and it became our computer room. So all of the kids from the neighbourhood used to just pile around to our house, and we'd got like the ZX Spectrum, and loading the games, waiting for a couple of minutes to make a pixel grow across the screen. And yeah, that was my childhood for a long time. It was amazing. Now, if you remember the games, Jesus, this is horrible. Why is it doing this? If you remember the games, it was kind of like and then it'd draw the picture for ages, like Jetpack or something, and then it'd go on for ages, and then 10 minutes later you get to play like Manic Miner or Jet Set Willy or something like that. And what me and my brother did when we were kids is we'd borrowed a game. They come on cassette tapes, and we'd borrowed a game off his friend Jason, and we were trying to copy it. But we didn't have like a tape-to-tape copy deck. We just had like a player that we could play it on. So we'd got like a little tape recorder with that you could press a record button on, like a little handheld type thing. And on the other side of the living room, we'd got like my dad's stereo. So we'd got this game in my dad's stereo, and we were playing it, and we'd stretch the cable across the floor, and the speaker was at the end of the cable. And then we'd got, on the other side of the room, it's like the plug sockets were too far away from each other to do this close. On the other side of the room, we got our little handheld portable tape recorder with a cassette tape in it. It got like a plug-in microphone, and we got the microphone lying along the floor with the speaker and the microphone sort of pointing at each other, and we're playing these noises on one and trying to record it on the other. And this is the way we were trying to like pirate copy this game. And my mum would walk in and say, "Does anybody want a cup of tea?" And we're like, "Shh, we're copying the game." It's like, oh, it's not going to work now. But yeah, we used to try and copy games like that. I don't think it ever worked, but yeah, we used to try and do this in the days before we'd got an actual stereo with 2 tape decks in it. But yeah, it was so ridiculous. I mean, the games didn't cost hardly anything anyway, so it was a bit silly. But back in the day, I mean, back then I think I was getting like 50 pence a week pocket money, and a game was a couple of pounds. So, you know, that is almost, you're looking at, you know, several weeks of pocket money to save up to buy a game. And if your mate's already got it and you can record it by putting the microphone on the floor, then why not? Yeah, that was a long time before Napster and all those kind of things. Right, let's move on. Right, what we got here from Umar Malik. He says that there is a cheaper way of getting a wheel spin, and it's in the update. There's a car called the Funko Motorsports F9. I did see this in my cars when I went back and had a quick look. You get the car for free. You spend 3 skill points and you get a wheel spin. So a nice cheap wheel spin. I haven't got the car yet, but I assume you can only get it for free once, the same way as the drift cars and things like that. So it's only you could do this once. But yeah. Credit goes to Umar for pointing this out. So if you've not seen that yet, guys, go and grab that car for free if you've got the expansion, and 3 skill points, and you can get a wheel spin. Now, because he said credit me for this, I thought I'll have a quick butchers at his channel. So I did. So I clicked on here. I had a quick look at his channel. There's nothing there. He's uploaded nothing whatsoever. But he's got 130. I'm saying he. I don't know whether Umar is a boy or girl's name. I think it's a guy's name. I have no idea. He's got 137 subscribers, right? Why does this person have 137 subscribers when there's nothing whatsoever on this channel? No videos, no nothing. Isn't that weird? So there we go. All credit to you for pointing out this. I think people seriously would have stumbled into it themselves, but there we go anyway. Oh, this is horrible, this flashing white thing. That's about my my cheeky blueprint. That's what it's about. It might be about my cheeky blueprint. It might be about my cheeky brother. I'm not sure. But yeah, that Titan blueprint, I can't believe it let me get away with that. It was incredible. And the video that I made that was corrupt, the entire time that I made it, I was showing you, recording it. And as I was doing it, I was going, I bet he won't do it. It won't do it. And then I was like, oh my God, he's done it. I couldn't believe it. And then that video didn't work. So I just had to show you what had happened. Peter Mooney, you are such a good YouTuber. I love your Christmas stories. Your brother was so cheeky. I said, I'm not so sure cheeky is the correct word. But yeah, it was a little bit of a cunt. But I didn't mind, to be honest. I mean, I did play with his toys. It was like, it feels pretty cool when you've got an older brother and his friends come around and you kind of want to try and impress them. I mean, when it was his birthday, I was 4 years old, so he would have been probably about 7. And it was his birthday party. And one of the presents that he had was a football. And I was in the back garden just kicking the football around. And I was kind of waiting for his friends to come, and I sort of wanted to... I kind of used to try and impress his friends because they were bigger than me, and I felt like, that's what you like when you're little. And I thought to myself, if I could play football backwards, that'd impress them. So I started trying to play football, and I was bored as well, so I was kind of thinking of stupid things to do. So I was kind of kicking the football around on the back garden backwards, just kind of like trying to dribble the ball and stuff like that. And I was thinking, yeah, my brother's mates will be impressed with this. And then I stood on the ball, and I went flying, and I smacked my head on the floor and cracked my head open. I had to have stitches in my head. I've still got a place where no hair grows where it happened. But I had to go to the hospital, and when I'd come back, obviously my brother's birthday party had started and all of his friends are there, and I've got stitches in my head. And I tell you what, to his friends, that was a lot more impressive than being able to play football backwards. So I was seriously chuffed about cracking my head open. But yeah, it was another thing that one of my brother's friends did, and this was a bit out of order really, but obviously because I'm a bit younger, I wanted to impress him. One of my brother's friends came round with a gun. It was like a revolver gun with that you can spin, that you'd put 6 bullets in. And I'd never seen a real gun, and it's quite unusual. This guy, he went on to go in the army. He used to come around with like Rambo knives and stuff. He was into all of that. He had like ninja stars and things. But on this one occasion, he actually brought a gun round to the house. And there was him, my brother, and one other guy, one of my brother's friends, and then me. So I'm obviously quite a bit younger. And what they were doing is they were spinning the barrel of the gun and then doing Russian roulette, like pulling the trigger at their heads. And they were asking me if I wanted to play. Now, I didn't know this, but it was actually a trick. But I thought it was a genuine game of Russian roulette, and I thought they were genuinely doing it. But I wanted to impress them, so I did join in, and I did agree to do it. So I took the gun, and I was going to spin it and do it. And my brother's mate went, no, I'll do it for you. And he took it off me, and he spun it. And he spun it a couple of times, and then he goes, okay, now. So then I'm holding the gun to my head, and I pull the trigger to try and impress my brother's friends. I can't believe I did it. It's insane. But I was very young, and it just went click, and nothing happened. I was thinking, oh my God, thank God for that. And he'd put a couple of bullets in it. But now what I didn't know then, but I do know now, is when he was spinning it, he could see where the bullets were, and he knew how many bullets were in the gun. So if he'd got 2 bullets in there and he couldn't see them both, one of them might be in the chamber, the right place for it to fire. So that's why he was spinning it a couple of times. He spun it until he could see where the bullets were, so he was guaranteed there wasn't one that would fire. So they were kind of playing a trick on me, but I just didn't know. They used to play all sorts of tricks on me like that. When I was a little kid, my brother and my sister told me that if you look at your finger and then you imagine the bones inside and you visualize that, and then you bend your finger by imagining those bones, as soon as your finger gets all the way closed, you instantly die, right? And I absolutely believed them. And for ages and ages, I used to sit on the end of my bed looking at my finger, pretending that it was a bone, and I used to bend it, and I'd get really close to... I'm doing it now. Right? I'd get really close to where my finger was bent all the way, and then I'd start sweating and breathing heavy, and then I'd straighten my finger, and I'd be like, oh my God, I so nearly died. And I was convinced of it. It was like voodoo. I tell you, they were in my mind. Right, let's move on. That's Jim, so I'm going to skip that one. Hey Katumi, that's a dirt track. We've mentioned this kind of in a previous comment, so, oh Christ. Sorry about all this flashing white. So I've kind of mentioned that in a previous comment, so I'm going to jump on. I love your stories. I think you should do a weekly series where you tell a story over gameplay. You know, I kind of do that anyway, don't I? I always get sidetracked and tell stories. But what I was thinking I might do, if I've got like a specific story to tell you that might be quite long, I thought I might make some videos where I'm going to click on this so that it's ready. I thought what I might do is make some videos where I'm doing some car designs. So I can sit there videoing, doing some sort of design for the car, which means I don't have to worry about changing gear or any of that stuff. And at the same time, I can share some stories. So if I think of one, then that's the way I'll do it. This is really annoying. This doesn't work anymore. Braden, I bet you it does. I don't think you'll be watching this video, so I don't think people other than Forza people watch these. But all the time someone says this doesn't work, and all the time I go in and check it, and it does work. I do have another video that's linked in the description of that one that says check out the controller view. Go and have a look at that video. And when you check it out, it will show you the timing. But I'm so certain it will still work. I've had this comment so many times, and every time I go and check it just to make sure, and every time it does still work. It's just the timing. You've got to get the timing right. Timing's not right, it won't work. But what I'll do, I'll jump into Fallout and just double check it. I won't make a new video, but I will leave a comment later saying, yeah, it does, I've just checked it, or hey, you're right, they've updated it. No, it doesn't. So I'll definitely comment one way or another. So here we go, guys. This is a blueprint. So, just a very small description. So this is the guy's gamer tag. Check out his blueprint. It's at the festival site, so nice and easy to find. It's called Festival Loop, and it's 3 laps. So Stuart Westerman, and the gamer tag is SuperStew117. So there we go, another little blueprint for you all to try there. So please do try out these blueprints and give us feedback on them. I did showcase one of them previously, and I will be doing that again. I did say weekly, but I have so many distractions going on at the moment, it's hard for me to get doing videos. So what I will, I'll just try and do them regularly. Might not be weekly, but it will be regularly. Can you duplicate bullets? No, you can't, but you can duplicate the necessary components you need to make bullets if you have the workshop expansion. There is a glitch for getting bullets when you're trading with someone. I saw it on someone else's video. It's really hard to do. I don't know if it's been patched or not. Can't do it. Your video has been really helpful. Plus, I really love your stories, so I just had to subscribe. Thanks, bloke gone gamer. That's like me. Come on, I'm a bloke gone gamer. I'm going to say it over and over again, but sorry about this horrible flashing. Oh, look, it's my playthrough. I'm so sorry for the people that are watching these videos, and I've got to like number 4 and just stopped. I haven't drifted away from the game. I'm just having loads of technical issues, and every time I record a video on Red Dead Redemption, I go post-edit, and it's just loads of green nonsense that's flashing all over the screen. I'm trying to get it sorted, and as soon as I do, I'll get back on this. But it happened on every single Red Dead Redemption video that I did after these ones, and for that reason, I just thought I'll come back to this once I've solved the problem. So, NBA, I'm so sorry that in a moment you're going to get to the end of this series, but there will be more coming, I hope, soon. So, you're welcome. How about a club livery? Someone's done one. I can't remember who. Henpecked Herb, I think, has done one. And also Simon's done one as well. So XX, Falling UK XX. Jump into the Creative Hub place, go to the liveries, and look for either of those 2 people, Henpecked Herb or XX Falling UK XX. And there are designs in there for the club. So if you want to grab one of those, do so. If you want to make one yourself, do so. I might make one. I like making designs. I haven't done it for a long time. Smedley. Smedley Crappit. Who's Smedley? Where's Smedley from? Or, no, I'm thinking of Schneebly. I was thinking of Jack Black in School of Rock. That's really awesome. He plays Mr. Schneebly. But I was also thinking of Smeghead from Red Dwarf when Crichton's trying to learn to lie and stuff like that. Right, I'm still struggling with drifting. You are surpassing me easily now, though. Yes. Do you favour the accelerator? Yes, I do. I can't quite get the hang of it. By the way, how come you can fast travel? Have you got all of the fast travel signs? No. Fast travel is one of the houses. There is a house that you buy, and when you buy that house, that gives you the ability to fast travel. So let's have a look. By the way, how come you can fast travel? Have you got all of the fast travel bonus points? No, I haven't. There are 15. I think there's 15 left. Probably 14 now, because I'm on about 2,800 to fast travel, so that would be 14 left. There are about 4 I can't get in the pipes and the motocross. I've seen influence boards in there that I can't get, but and I've seen influence board on top of the house that I can't get, but not the others. One up by the wind farm. I still don't have the FT option, even for money. Yeah, it's a house. There is just above Derwent Water. Oh, actually, I might be wrong here. Right. Anyway, just above Derwent Water in the forest, there is a house that's in the forest. I think that house gives you the skill song, okay? So it's maybe not that one, but, you know, if you go to the east of there and then down a bit, it's kind of like a golf course. I think there's a house somewhere around that area to the north of all the wind farms. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's quite a nice house. It's quite big. But that unlocks the ability to fast travel. So you just have to buy one of the houses. So if you see any house that you don't have, just click on to buy it. And when you click to buy it, it'll tell you what the perks of that house are. And then you can buy it if you want those perks, but you don't have to. You still have the ability to get out. But yeah, it's on a house. So that's where it is. So... oh my, I forgot when I couldn't fast travel and I had to drive everywhere. I kind of liked driving everywhere, to be honest. I only got around 1 million. Is there any way to farm money other than doing the highway race everyone does? One of the ways that you can get money, and we've mentioned this already a couple of times on previous videos, there are 2 cars in the showroom that you can buy for 150,000 credits, and both of them have inside them 300,000 credits and a cheap wheel spin. Now, in order to get all of that, you do need to get skill points. So you want to be getting a lot of skill points and then buying these 2 cars and then just taking the credits out of them and taking the wheel spins. And quite often those wheel spins really do give you some good stuff, so it really adds up. The cars are the 1982 Porsche 911 Turbo and the 1969, I think, Nissan Fairlady. So those 2 cars both give you 300,000 credits, but they only cost 150. Now, I did mention this previously, and some people said, yeah, but you pay 150 for the car, you can get 150 profit. There's no gain. There is. You pay 150 for the car, so that's your 150 down. But then you get 300 out of the car, so you're now 150 up. Now you pay 150 for a new car, and you're at 0. But you get 300 out of the car, so you're 300 up. Now you can buy 2 cars with your profit, and inside those 2 cars you have 300 from each. So that's 600. You're 600 up. So you know it's like exponential growth. Every time you do it, you double your money. So every time you've got 600, you pay that on cars. What you get out of them is 1,200. You got 1,200. What you get out of them. Let's wait for this motorbike. So yeah, those 2 cars, the Porsche 911 Turbo from 1982 and the Nissan Fairlady from 1969, both of those cars will double your money. It takes a little bit of time to do it, but it's a good way of doing it. Now also, the barn find car, the MGB, they sell in the auction house really, really cheap. You can buy them in the auction house for usually around about 17,000. Now, inside that car, there is a 200,000 credits and a 100,000 credits, so it gives you 300,000 credits. Now, some people have already taken it. There's no way you can determine whether or not they have before you get the car from the auction house. But if they haven't taken it, then you're going to get 300,000 credits for spending 17,000. But again, you need skill points. Now, the other day, I thought that the car auction house had been increased in size, and I was very close to 500 cars. I was 7 cars away, 7 or 6. So I went to the auction house and bought 6 or 7, I can't remember what, it was 6. I bought 6 MGBs. So I thought, if I'm going to buy some cars anyway, I'll buy a cheap one, 17,000 each. Some of them are 30,000, and also there's the potential of getting money out of them. And for 2 skill points, that car has one wheel spin. So you get a very cheap wheel spin as well. Now, when I looked in the cars, 5 of the 6 had not been touched. So I had 5 wheel spins, 5 lots of 300,000 credits, and then one of the cars had been used up. But each one of those cars cost either 17,000 or at the most 30,000. It actually happened on one of my previous videos. I don't know which one it was, but I wasn't talking about that in the video. I was talking about something else. But yeah, those 3 cars are a brilliant way for you to get your money. You're guaranteed to double your money on the Porsche and on the Nissan, but with the MGB you get a lot more money. You know, because it's only cost 17,000 to buy it and you get 300,000 back. So it's a lot more profit. But when you buy the car, it might have been used. But the profit is so good. If you buy 20 of them and only one or two still has those perks available for you, you're still in profit. But of course, you do need skill points. So you want to find a way to get a lot of skill points easily. The best ways really are, if you like the BMW Drift Forza Edition car, then drift up and down the airstrip. If you like the Renault Turbo Forza Edition car, then bounce up and down on the sand dunes. And you're going to be getting a lot of skill points very, very quickly with that. So, does this work on Xbox? Yes, I'm on Xbox. I tried the glitch and it didn't work. Try it. I'm going to have to check that out, haven't I? Another one from Jim there, so that's going to be... let's have a look. I must have talked about this because I singled out all of his comments. So a couple from Jim on the other video. Ah, that made me laugh so hard. Good video, man. Much entertaining. Oh, yeah, the Colossus. That's a long time ago, that video is. But yeah, it's when the... when all the... I can't remember what it was. The Isetters, the BMW Isetters. I put them on like an S2 class, and on the first corner, they all fall over. Was it them, or was it... Yeah. No, the Isetters were all spinning around like crazy. It's the two CVs that fall over. It was awesome. I still really want to make a video just showing drivatars doing silly things. It's really funny. I don't know why this guy thinks this video is lies. It's not. Just to let you know, it is super easy to make money faster and more efficiently. It requires an investment. You'll need 600k to boost you off. Let's have a look. Right, this guy is telling you to do exactly what I've just explained. He's saying use the BMW Forza Edition, which is going to cost you 400k, and then drift up and down and get loads of skill points. Okay, he's basically telling you get a load of skill points. Then he's saying buy the car I've just talked about, the Porsche 911 3.3 Turbo. Right, it's the 1982 one, so make sure you get the right one. And the Nissan Fairlady from 1969 does exactly the same. And those cars, 19 skill points on each for getting an extra 300,000. So you're 150 in profit because you've doubled your money. And the method I got it from a YouTuber named Dubs. I don't believe it originated from him. No, I've done a video on both of those cars. I didn't see it anywhere else. I don't think Dubs has copied me, but I discovered this. I'm sure Dubs discovered it as well, and I'm sure loads of other YouTubers have as well. But yeah, I noticed that those cars double your money, and I made a video on it a long time ago. So yeah, that is all true. The way I was getting skill points to do it, though, is I was driving around in the Renault on the sand dunes. But just do whatever you like to get skill points, but you need a lot of them, and then do this. So yeah, what this person is talking about is exactly the same as what I've just said. Is there a race? Excuse me. You can create your own race and set it to whatever you want. So you can set it to road racing, cross country, or dirt racing. Then you can go and do that race, get loads of influence from doing it, and it will help you on that particular discipline. So if you want to get your road racing up, I would suggest make a blueprint up and down the motorway, and then just race that a few times, and you'll get your influence for it. Now, what you shouldn't do is make a race where the drivatars have a big detour, but you only have a short race, because it measures how much you race, and you get your influence for that. So make sure it's a long race. But there's quite a... If you go down towards the south of the map, at the bottom of the motorway, there's a roundabout. Just below there are a stack of blueprints that people do in there that are just for getting money. So look for one of those that is road racing. The drivatars will be crippled, so you're guaranteed to win. And just do one of those a few times, and you'll get a stack of influence in that. Right. So Jack Ultramotive challenges you to a drift off in Forza Horizon 4. So weird video for that comment to be on. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more confident on my drifting. God, this is so annoying, this flashing white. I'm really sorry about it. You can only share one blueprint per location. Oh no. So there we go. Michael has answered that question for us. Suppose it's some kind of attempt to stop the blueprint spamming. So on my weekly challenge blueprints, I'm going to have to just keep putting up a fresh weekly one. A lot of people are saying, hey, this didn't work for me. It's because you've only got the latest blueprint. So maybe putting some in different places, or guys, just create your own. I found it easiest to get drifts and e-drifts in any of the open fields. Just slide around and no real worries about traffic. Yeah, you're completely right. Just drifting around the open fields are definitely the easiest. I think when there's something like that, I kind of forget them by accident. Right, I need the Ford Capri. So does everybody else. It's the only car that's left. It seems that I did not do the first Forza-thon. No, Jose, what this is, the Ford Capri was only available on pre-release exclusively to some bloggers and some YouTubers. They're the only people that have had access to it so far. So I completely believe that at some point in the future, it will be released for the rest of us. I don't think it was a car that's just for those people. If it is, that's really, really unfair. So I expect it to come back. I don't expect any of those people that have got it to be putting them on an auction house. So I think the only way that the rest of us are going to get it is if they kind of give it us that way. But I expect them to. You mean thrash, not trash. I did mean trash, but you also thrash them. What we got here? Weekly challenge. Oh my god, how very dare you leave us on a cliffhanger. Tune in next time to find out what I did with my lunch money. Oh yes, I forgot about this. Right, Daz, I will tell you right now. So we used to play Splash-a-Doo. That's what I was talking about. We used to go down to the local green, which is it was Attlebury Green. It's like a very small town. Stand by the puddles. The cars used to splash us, and then we'd go back to class, and whoever got the wettest was the winner. But the other thing that I used to do with my lunch money, that I because I was talking about something I did at lunchtime at school, I thought, oh yeah, I used to do this as well, didn't I? Right, I need to blow my nose. What I used to do, my friends and I all used to have roughly the same amount of lunch money that at the time probably was about £2 or something like that, probably less. And we'd go to Attlebury Green, and we used to go to the chip shop and buy a bag of chips. If you're not English, what chips are, it's like if you got 4 French fries and you stuck them together to make one big fat French fry, that is a chip, okay? Anyone not from England, that's what a chip is. So what English people eat often is fish and chips, or battered sausage and chips, or scallop and chips. Now, a scallop is not a creature from the sea. A scallop is a slice of potato, about 1.5 centimetres thick, round like a burger pate, covered in batter and deep fried. So you go to the chip shop and you say, bag of chips and a scallop batch. So that's a scallop inside a batch. Now, that's very local to Coventry area. If you go to Hinckley, which is just the next town along, and you say, can I have a scallop batch? They have no idea what you're talking about. To them, that's called a potato fritter, and a batch, to them, a batch is bread in a circle. To people in Hinckley, that's called a bread roll. Now, if you go somewhere else in the country, it's called a cob. I think up north somewhere, it's called like a barn cake or something. So depending on where you are in England, a scallop batch has a lot of different names. So can I have a potato fritter on a cob? Bread roll with potato fritter or something like that. But in Nuneaton and Coventry, that is called a scallop batch. Anyway, so what me and my mates used to do, we go to the chip shop, we get a bag of chips and a scallop batch or a battered sausage or something like that, and then we go to the cake shop and we get a cake. I liked cakes more than I liked chips. But chips are filling, you kind of need them. And so I wanted more money for cakes, right? So I came up with this brilliant idea. Well, I thought it was a brilliant idea when I was a kid. Next door to the chip shop, there was a pet shop that sold dog food, right? You already know where this is going. Right, it sold dog food in like big containers, and you kind of like scooped it out and put it in a bag, and then they'd weigh it and you'd pay for it. And it was so fucking cheap, and I kind of liked it. So the dried dog biscuits, and I had a dog when I was little, and when I was giving him biscuits, I used to eat them as well, and I kind of liked them. So I figured if I don't go to the chip shop, and I don't spend my money on my chips and battered sausage or scallop batch or anything else. Instead, while my mates are in the chip shop, I go into the pet shop and I just get a bag of dog food, like not wet dog food, dried dog food, like dog biscuits. I'll eat them. And they cost almost nothing. So I was buying a bag of these dog biscuits, eating those while my mates ate their chips. Then we'd go to the cake shop, and then my friends would all buy like 1 cake, and I'd buy like 4 cakes. So it's amazing that I still have teeth. But yeah, that's what I used to do. So dinner time, for many years, I ate dog food and lots of cakes. So that's what that story was. I mean, it's not not the most interesting of stories, but when I was talking about the splash-a-doo thing, because we'd gone through that ford, you can see how, I mean, what had happened, I drove through a puddle on a game. That reminded me of when I first started driving and I went to a ford, which was quite close to Nuneaton. I just drove backwards and forwards through it really fast, making the biggest splash that I could. And then I started thinking about when I was at school and we used to play splash-a-doo. And then I thought, we did that at dinner times, and then I thought at dinner times I used to eat dog food. So that's how my mind works. That's the progression of the tangents inside my brain when I get distracted. So there we go. So there you go, Daz. Because of your comment, we now have the completion of the story. Great videos as always. I love your anecdotes and what you have experienced in your life up to now. Please don't change the way you do things. I'm not going to. A lot of people keep telling me to edit. A lot of people keep telling me to, make shorter videos. I've said this I talked about this a bloody lot in the comments on comments with Jim, but the way I do this is my personality. I'm not going to change it. And for any of those people that don't like it, then just go and find another YouTube channel that does what you like. So rather than saying to me, you need to edit, you need to edit, you need to edit, you need to make short videos, you need to stop getting sidetracked. I don't need to do any of those things. I respect that is what you like. But people like Ivan here likes what I am doing. And it's people like Ivan that my channel is for. If you don't like my channel, go and find one that you do like. And when you get there, just appreciate what that person's doing. Don't say to them, hey, you need to make your videos longer and tell some stories. What you're doing. You need to leave your mistakes in. Don't try and change me to them, and don't try and change them to me. Now, I'm sorry if anyone takes any offense of that whatsoever or thinks I'm not listening to you. I do listen to you guys. There are some things I do change. My personality is not going to be one of them. And I've got subscribers like Ivan who like it. So it's for them, guys. Oopsie. Es finito? Sorry guys. Right, I'm not going to edit that out because the processing of these videos, if I upload this video once it's done, I just upload it. If I edit out that, where I've just had to run away for a few seconds, to process this video is going to take about 8 hours, okay? So whenever I do any editing, it really does take a long time. But the reason I had to quickly run upstairs, the guy who's doing the floor in the bedroom is just about finished, and he had a couple of questions about, we were thinking about putting some of the floor on the wall behind where the TV is. It's kind of like a recess. And he was saying, do I want that or not? And I've decided it would be, I've decided not to. I'm just going to paint that bit white instead. Right. Let's move on. Mr. Memes. I don't know if anyone commented this. For those of you who don't know what he means by the drag strip on the airfield, you just get a car that that's really good at drifting and go up and down it until you get... Yeah, you do. Right, also, what's worth mentioning on here is that drag strip, that doesn't appear on your map immediately. You have to do a couple of the drag races for the drag strip to appear on the airport. Now, once you've done a couple of drag strips and it puts the new one on the map, what you can do then, if you drift up and down and you get a really high skill chain, if you then drive into the start point of that drag strip and you just press the button to go into it and then press the button to come out of it, just straight away, it kind of adds up your skill chain. It gives you all the points, so you don't have to wait for the skill chain to end. Now, that's not my idea. That came from somebody else. It was a comment, but that is so much better. You just drift up and down. When you get to around about 70,000 points, which with the times 7 multiplier in the BMW will give you 10 skill points, and that's the cap, so you don't want to go any higher. Just make sure you're near that that start point and just click the button, in and out, job done. So there we go. That's so annoying, that white thing. Try using the Deberta. Oh God, what on earth? Right, the Deberta Silverado is a downright beast. I will. Thank you. I will check that out. Right, check out my awesome Forza Horizon car designs. This creator is called Humongous. So go and have a look. Have a look at this guy's designs. See what you think. Ooh, there we go. Not seeing your blueprints, mate. I've already discussed this on previous comments, so I don't want to just keep repeating myself when people have the same question. So hopefully if you're watching this video, when I discussed how you find them previously, that will have answered your questions. And of course, we do have this problem with only one blueprint showing up at a time. So I will be doing the new weekly challenge, and obviously it's going to override the old one. So I'm glad. Was it Michael? I think it was. Michael, thank you so much for pointing that out. Right. Have you tried to put the sensitivity on your microphone up? That should stop picking up the clicks from your controller. The thing with the microphone is I've tried changing the gain. I've tried adjusting all of the settings. In order to be able to get it to a setting where it doesn't pick up the controller clicks, I have to have my lips touching the pop filter in order for it to pick up my voice. And then when I'm playing a game, really, really often I kind of move away from it a little bit and it goes too quiet. So it's kind of like there's a threshold and I'm on the edge of that threshold. At the moment, I'm probably a little bit too close to the clicks. So I could make the microphone slightly less sensitive, bring it closer to my mouth, and then it wouldn't pick up the clicks quite so much. But I have experimented with the settings, and it does seem... This is so annoying. I'm going to try and stop mentioning it. You know it's happening. But yeah, unless I have the mic right close to my mouth, so the sensitivity on the mic turned down really low so it doesn't pick up other sounds, it is picking up the clicks. Enjoy your videos, but please don't make them a bit shorter, like less than 10 minutes. No, there's no way that's ever going to happen. It just isn't. If you want videos that are less than 10 minutes, my channel just is not for you. My videos are about me getting distracted, telling stories and all that kind of stuff, and they're always going to be long, usually probably an hour or even more. I mean, this one is going to be a long video, and the other one that the one that's processing right now, which is the comments with Jim Lawrence, that's going to be... I mean, that's a couple of hours long, and that's just the way they are. If you like short videos, just find someone else who's doing the same thing. I'm about your skill level. Good job at getting better, and you are much improved. If you ever watch it's Don Joe 1, isn't it? Because a lot of people mention this guy. Don Joe 1 Songs video, his latest named The Whole Map. It's a thing of beauty, drifting the entire map. I hope you have that type of control. I hope you have that type of control one day. Is there any room left in the club? Yeah, there's loads of room left in the club. But it's growing, and a massive, massive thank you to Simon and a couple of you other guys as well that are really doing an awesome job at putting content in the club, making it entertaining. Hempecked Herb as well, you deserve a mention. I mean, there's a few people that I should mention, and I'm going to miss out. I do apologise for that. But you guys that are putting content in the club, putting the blueprint in there, putting the videos, putting the screenshots, that's absolutely awesome, because I've not really done anything with it. All I did is create a club, called it the same name as the channel. So I really appreciate what people are doing on that. It is absolutely awesome. It's so hard not to mention. Stop going white. The audio settings is the mic gain, etc. Yeah, we've just talked about this. I've fiddled with it a lot. I just think that, unfortunately, I have a microphone that does pick up sounds around me. Next goal, you should make it... how far am I now? 3 days ago. Next goal you should make is to be able to drift some harder drift cars. I've started doing this. I have started jumping into a couple of the Formula Drift cars. What I did is, on that drift zone that's right by the Horizon Festival, I had a look at the top scores on that. I'm thought, how the fuck did they get this? I'm on about 47,000 and they're on 80-something thousand. That's like almost double me. And they've done it in... what car was it? Was it a Dodge Viper or something? I can't remember. But whatever the car they did it in, I then downloaded that car, put a drift tune on it, and I've been trying that car, and I'm kind of getting the hang of it. But at the moment, with my current skill level of drifting, I'm enjoying the Unicorn, the Ford Mustang. That, at the moment, seems to be a good car for me. Now, before, when I was using the BMW, I tried the Unicorn, and it was a complete nightmare. I couldn't control it. It was a nightmare for me. Now, before I was using the BMW, when I was driving around in the Renault all the time, I tried the BMW and I couldn't control that. Now the BMW seems simple. So it seems that as I am slowly progressing my skill at drifting, I'm getting to the point where I'm able to handle a car that is improving my drifting because it's better to drift with, but it's no good if I can't handle it. So I'm getting better. I am definitely going to make a drifting tutorial and talk about all these things for people that are also struggling. I mean, when we had the mention of the feathering the accelerator earlier and stuff like that, I'm definitely going to be talking a lot about all this sort of stuff, and also then, sending people onto Dubs to watch his tutorial, because that's where I started. But I definitely think I'm doing a lot of things that are helping me that have just come from trial and error that weren't on Dubs' original video. So I want to talk about quite a few of those. I want to keep it a lot more basic than what Dubs has, and then say to people, when you're ready to progress on to step 2, go over here and he's going to explain, what's going on with your engine and your wheels and torque and all that kind of stuff, and why drifting works, and he'll give you some science, and it will be, it'll take you to the next level. So that's my plan. That spin business is a bugger. 15 mil for Edinburgh Castle, 10 super spins, and the best I got was 2 times 400,000. The castles are bloody expensive, aren't they? They really are. I mean, they don't really do anything either. I wish they did, but I mean, they don't. It's like, I'd kind of like it if the castles were your garage, and you had like a showroom and you could walk around and see your cars in the showroom, like the Forza Vista, but all of your cars in one place. That'd be brilliant. You had like a big showroom that you could walk around, like Jay Leno's garage. That'd be so good. Right, this is on Conan Exiles. This guy's not going to watch this video, is he? But he's saying this doesn't work. He just gets feral flesh, and he's tried it 5 times. Yeah, I thought they'd got rid of it, and I tried it loads of times, and it didn't work. And then I was almost about to say they've patched it, and then it did work. So I think what they've done is they've really kind of like nerfed it a lot. I think a lot of people were taking the piss out of this, and I think what they've done is they've just made the drops a lot rarer than they were. They used to be almost guaranteed and you got bloody loads of them, but now it's a little bit different. I'm not going to thumbs that up because it'll look like I'm saying, yes, you are correct if I do, and I don't like to do that. I really appreciate these videos and your witty commentary. Please keep this up and don't change what you do. See, another person saying don't change what you do. These are the people that are... I imagine that these people have stumbled into my channel and said, this is refreshing, this is what I like. And when they look at the other channels that are all edited and all that stuff, it's not what they like, it's not what they're looking for. So these are the people that my channel is for, and it is not going to change. Don't change what you do. Such good fun to see a fellow Brit commentating and being witty. I'm not sure that I am that witty. Am I being witty now? What we got here from Simon? Yeah, I had the same... Simon, Michael, earlier on, has answered this for us. It only puts the last track, so now we know. Only your most recent track is the one that other people get to see. So now that problem has been solved. Should I leave AR12 to join club? Of course you should. I don't want to kind of poach people from anywhere else, but if anyone wants to come over, then please do. There's plenty of room in the club. I don't know who AR12 are, but I have heard people mention AR12 Gaming a lot. So I assume this is one of the most popular clubs for these kind of games. But I really don't know. I know that I should know more about this kind of stuff because of me being a YouTuber on these things. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, I imagine this is like a really popular person's club like that. Day One, I don't know his name. Day One John Sung or something like that. Loads of people mention him a lot, so I imagine that he is the top guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I actually notice his name a lot in the tunings and stuff like this. And also on my channel, it says similar channels, and this is the top one. But I haven't really looked at any of his stuff at all. But a lot of people talk about him, so obviously that guy, whatever he's doing it right. But I'm not going to try and be a clone of whatever he or anyone else is doing. I'm just doing my own thing, and I kind of don't really like looking at other people's stuff. It's a bit silly, really, because I have no intention of changing what I do or being influenced by other people, but it almost feels like if I watch someone else's things, it might influence me a bit, and I don't want it to, so I avoid watching them. But for that reason, it means if I put up a video where I'm talking about something, someone else has done the same, a load of people jump on it and go, you're copying whoever. I'm thinking, well, no, I'm not at all. The video came from me, from my idea or my discovery, or from a comment on my YouTube channel. And I'll always credit where they come from, you know that. I clicked on the video and got a Paw Patrol commercial. I will act like that did not happen. I don't know who Paw Patrol are. So there's a lot of things I don't know. Right. There's a lot of stuff I do know about some very specific subjects to a very high degree, but there's a huge amount of stuff I don't know about a very broad range of subjects that is a lot of general knowledge. I don't watch a lot of television and stuff like that, so people talk about stuff like you should know what they're talking about. I think I ain't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. So that happens a lot. Miserable old git. Hey Katumi, were you able to do a custom with your we were able to do a custom with your convoy. Me and a few others used it for a race. I noticed the other day, I can't remember what I was doing, but I noticed that I was suddenly in a convoy, and then I was suddenly not in a convoy, so that must be something to do with what you were doing. You must have been in the same zone as me or something. This video could have been 5 minutes long. Any of my videos could have been much shorter than they are, but we've talked about this. It's not going to happen. My videos are long, they have tangents, and that's the way I am, and it's never going to change. If there's something that I've got to say and I can squeeze it into 5 minutes and I don't think of any stories, then I'll upload a 5-minute video. I don't make them long intentionally, that's just the way I am. If you have a conversation with me in the street, then if you've got an appointment, you're going to be late because I will think of 100 different things to share with you. That is just the kind of person that I am. Your drift zone challenge. I have 51,086 in the Ferrari F12. You did it in the BMW. I must say that my 51 wasn't in winter, but I do get 49k in winter. The BMW is fine with a good drift tune. I have only been drifting properly for about a month. Fucking hell, you're doing really well then. It's so hard to get above the 50 mark. I had to learn to manual. I mean, yeah, the manual gears. On my steering wheel, I've always used manual gears, but on the controller, I never do. I don't know why, but now I'm using manual gears on the controller. And apart from when I'm forgetting to change gear, when I'm doing a video, when I'm actually racing myself, I way prefer it. It gives you so much more control of the car because you can engine brake. When you're in automatic gears, you can't engine brake. But as soon as you go into manual, you have the ability to slow down your car without the risk of locking up your wheels and completely losing control. Now, when I was doing the Maserati 300S subscriber challenge, where I was saying make me a better driver, one of the best tips in there was engine braking. Now, I was driving that track, and I beat Unbeatable on a standard tune Maserati, and I wasn't even cutting many corners or anything. I genuinely beat them, which is incredible for my level of driving. But one of the biggest tips in there was the engine braking, because if I could get my car slow, almost slow enough to take the corner with engine braking, and then doing a little bit of feathering on my brake, then I managed to maintain control. But if I was coming up to a corner and I didn't engine brake, if my gears were on automatic and I had to brake, I was always losing control. So yeah, the gears are such a good help. Being able to drop it down a few gears for several reasons. I mean, they're good for very quickly getting you off the mark, for redlining, and also for engine braking. If you are currently driving in manual, I strongly recommend that you just give it a go for just a few days. And the chances are, once you've seen how much control you have with your engine braking, you probably won't ever go back. It's really good. It's like when I drive now in manual, because sometimes when I'm doing a blueprint, I leave it in manual so I can look at the map, because the map doesn't come up when you're in, automatic. I leave it in automatic because it doesn't come up if you're in manual gears. I think all the way through what I've just said, I've been mixing up the words manual and automatic, but I'm sure you knew what I meant. But yeah, when I do that and I'm driving around, I sometimes really struggle to control the car because it won't let me change down gear, and I'm having to use my brakes more than I would like to use them. So yeah, it's worth giving it a try. So this guy's high score is 49k, so that's higher than me as well. I think I did mention this in a comment. A lot of people seem to be around about this 50,000 mark. God knows how people are getting 80,000 in that. I'm sure it's Dodge Viper. That's incredible. I got a Koenigsegg Agera for free out of a wheel spin and sold it for 1 million. That's pretty good. I think I would have kept it. Unless you have two, then there's no point. I was in a club, but I jumped ship. So Tiger Fox Blade, welcome to K74. And we're very pleased that you are with us. So the numbers are growing, and I'm really, really happy that it's kind of become a little bit of an active thing, mostly because of Simon, to be honest. But yeah, he's doing an awesome job, and also a couple of other people as well. But that is so cool. I'm very, very happy for people to be chucking content up there and things like that. And yeah, it's awesome. It's like a little tiny family. I like it a lot. Here we go. So the limit is 550 cars, 300 liveries, and 300 tunes. Limit will be raised, but not in time for Fortune Island. So this is the comment I was talking about when I mentioned earlier about them increasing the limit. 51,000. God, that's good. But struggling to get any higher. Yeah, I'm really struggling to get any higher than 49. I can consistently get about 42 now that I've changed over to the Unicorn. It took me a while to do that. I got the 49 or whatever it is in the BMW, and I can't match it in the Unicorn. But I am consistently getting about 42 in the Unicorn, whereas in the BMW I was consistently getting about 32. So obviously I'm better, it's just that I've not managed to match my best yet because it was a bit of a fluke. So glad you see that swaps out the BMW, especially for the Unicorn. You'll be surprised just how much faster your drifting will improve. Yeah, I agree with you. Dead right, Daz. Oh, it's Daz72, who inspired the dog food story. Right, he's on the drift zone. His highest is 43k, so I've got him beat. So yes, I will see you in there, and we can battle it out together. So that's me talking about that blueprint challenge from Simon. I tell you what, right? I am struggling to get anywhere near the scores that you lot are getting. You know, what's mine? 620, and yours are like 530 or something like that. But on that corner where it's a very sharp left, and you could very easily just cut straight across the grass just before you go into the village. Are you guys respecting the driver line, or are you just going straight down to the checkpoint? Because I reckon I could shave a good, 15 or 20 seconds off my time if I cut that corner. You all know the one I'm talking about, because it's the one that you're all cutting. You must be. How can you get this time if you're driving it properly? So Simon, if you do more of these in the future, please make a blueprint where there is not the possibility of someone cutting. So on every corner, get one of those checkpoints down so that it's level playing fields for everybody. Because I was driving it properly, and every time I drove around that corner, I was thinking, I'm going to cut it. And then I was thinking, no, I can't, it's wrong. So yeah, that time that I got, about 6 minutes 20, was driving the actual driver line. But I'm pretty certain I could probably, with a little bit of practice, I could probably get into 6 minutes by cutting that the corner I'm talking about. I don't think I could get down to 5 minutes and 30 something though. How the fuck are you doing this? But the thing is, it's a very long track. So if you're slightly better than me on every corner, that really, really adds up. So by the time we get round to the end, yeah, you've got a minute on top of me, but it's only a fraction of a second on each one of the corners because you're just taking them better. So anyway, there we go. Hempecked Herb is the guy that made the K74 vinyl group, so you might want to check that out. Someone did ask, so go and check it out. This is Dragster TV just promoting his channel. So all this is him saying that I'm great and I've inspired him to create his own channel. He kind of spammed this on quite a few of my videos, and I thought putting it on this video was a bit weird because this is a Mutant Year Zero video. It's nothing to do with Forza, and his channel is Forza. But he obviously wants us to take a look at his channel, so let's take a look at his channel. Here it is. We're not going to see it all because I'm obviously filming just a section of the screen. But, actually, I'm filming quite a useful section of the screen. So he's got 42 subscribers so far. There we go. He's got a video on the first treasure chest location. So if you want to know where that first treasure chest location is, then pop into Dragster TV and check out his video. Subscribe. Crazy Blueprint Abuse, 5 million credits. So there's stuff in here that all of my subscribers will like. Forza Horizon 4, best money method, free skill points. So yeah, all of this stuff is exactly the stuff that you guys will like. So pop on over. Let's see if we can bump him up in subscribers, and get him get some views. I'll do one. There we go. There we go. Let's lead by example. He's now got 43. So if any of you guys want to pop over and watch some of his content, I mean, he's already one up on me here. He's going to tell you about the first treasure chest location. I haven't even got it yet. When I find it, I'll be doing a video on it, but I'm not going to watch someone else's video. I want to find stuff myself. Then I'll tell you about it maybe a week after everyone else has told you about it on YouTube. But that's just the way I am. If you want stuff first, then you'll probably find it somewhere else. But if you want stuff, you know, a little bit later, once I've discovered it by myself, and then a few stories while I tell you about it over an hour-long video that could really be 5 or 10 minutes, then keep watching my videos. So there we go, that's Dragster TV. Check him out, watch a couple of his videos. If you like them, give them a thumbs up, and give him a subscribe. So help him out a little bit. So I love it that other people are making YouTube stuff. I don't know how long, does it tell you? So let's have a look at all of his videos. And his oldest one is only 2 weeks ago. So he said I inspired him to start doing this. And yeah, I believe that. I probably did. I did make a video where I talked a lot about people doing this. And I tried to encourage other people to do it. And that was certainly longer than 2 weeks ago. So if I have genuinely inspired you to do this, then that really pleases me. I'm really happy about that. I hope it becomes successful. I hope you're able to monetize it. And you eventually... you know, start making money from playing games. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Everyone that moans about the length of my videos, look at these. 6 minutes, 5, 3, 3, 2, 3. I'm guessing that this guy isn't telling stories, okay? There ain't no chance you're telling stories in a 1 minute and 52-second video. So those people that are looking for, just give me the answers. Let me in there. Tell me the answers quickly. Jump over here because you're going to love this guy's stuff. So there we go. Dragster TV. You did kind of spam this comment on quite a few of my my videos, but hopefully this video is going to send a few people your way. Right, I had to add Fallen UK as a friend. Yes, you do. You do have to do all of that to get the blueprints. Oh my goodness. And that's the time that this guy has set. Remember to use the one that challenge tune. I forgot all about that. I did use it on the actual thing. I just forgot to tell people about it. This has been patched by the look of it, folks. Awesome hack, ultimate free super spins. Yes, it has. That has been patched. I'll thumbs you up to confirm it has been patched. Oh my god, that flashing white is horrible. It's the last time I used Chrome to do one of these videos. The number 43 Dodge Viper. That is the one that I tried. So yes, let me have a look what I said here. Oh yeah, it's the one that I tried because it's top of the drift score for that zone, but I couldn't handle it. After that comment, I tried it again, and I started getting all right with it, to be honest, but I'm still only at the unicorn level. But I absolutely know with a bit more practice, the Dodge Viper is going to be my next step. It really is. I noticed that you never buy the 10k influence. Hey, I tell you what, Simon, I had an idea. You know when you get a car and it's shit, so you don't ever bother looking at it? If it's new and you've not had it before, but you don't get in it, it doesn't contribute to your car collector. And your car collector, as that increases, you get influence and you get rewards for that. So what I was doing the other day is just going through my garage, looking for all the new cars and just changing car, getting in them. And I just did, I mean, I got really bored. I got about to Ferraris and then stopped because there were way too many. But my advice, every time you get a new car on a spin or anything like that, just get in it straight away. So that you've sat in it. And once you've sat in it, it then contributes to your car collector. While it's sitting in your garage saying new, it does not contribute to your car collector. So your tip here for the 10k influence, yeah, you're right. I should be doing that on the cars, definitely. And also, a little tip from me, make sure you get into every single car that you jump into. So, right, another comment. Daz is a regular commenter. I quite like this. So he's saying a good shout out for the blueprints on the club as we're trying to grow the club. I need to change Daz's status to your status, even Daz, if you are listening. I need to change your status to what do you call it? Like an admin, same as Simon and a few of the other people that are in there. But I forgot to do that at the beginning. So yeah, you are a guy that comments regularly, and I will be updating you. Yes, we can now race our own blueprints. Oh yeah, I was asking about whether we could race blueprints against somebody else. I'm just going to get to the bottom of this page, then I'm going to stop. So limit on the cars now 550. Nice challenge. I surely will have a go at that one. So that is, I don't know which blueprint challenge that was. Oh yeah, it's the one from Simon. Any slots left on the club? Yes, there are. Oh, never mind. I didn't watch the whole thing. So yes, there we go, guys. That is the end of today's comments on comments video. I feel quite anxious to kind of close the video because my cleaner's finished, and I've got a feeling that she doesn't want to disturb me to kind of say goodbye and all that stuff. So I'm going to kind of shut this down in order to be able to do that. And I want to go and have a look at the progress on the floor as well. When I went upstairs last time, he had completely finished all the floor, but you know, like the skirting board bits that just go around the walls and all of that. He hadn't started any of that yet, so I've been hearing a lot of banging and drilling and nailing, so I imagine that he's now putting those bits on, and I want to go and have a look. I tell you, it's been you guys that were subscribers of mine from the beginning. Can you remember when I talked about we had to smash up the concrete floor and everything was really echoey on the microphone? It was about 2 months ago, right? I've not had a bedroom in all that time. It's like we went and bought this floor. And they said, we need to come and... I mean, this building moves a lot. And when we took up the old carpet, underneath, the concrete floor was completely cracked. And half of the bedroom was much lower than the other half. It was kind of like, if you put a marble on the floor, it would roll. That's how bad this building's new. It's 8 years old. But the ground moves so much here that it's just cracked everywhere. Obviously, there's rebar inside the concrete, so that it doesn't matter. The structure of the building is fine, but it's a bit... You know, there's a lot of cracks in the walls. And really weirdly, when a vehicle drives past the road outside, if it's a big vehicle, the apartment moves. And when my wife first told me about that, I was thinking, no, it doesn't. There's no way that a vehicle driving past your apartment is going to make your apartment move. But it does. It's unbelievable. And it moves quite a bit. And yeah, if a big lorry drives up the street just outside the apartment, we're on the top floor, so obviously we notice it the most because obviously that's the way the movement works. But yeah, the whole apartment moves, and you hear little cracks and creaks, and then you know, that happens. So yeah, the floor was quite a bad condition. So they came out and they leveled all the floor. They put new concrete down and leveled it all off. And they said this needs 2 days to dry, then we'll come and fit the floor. So this happened about 2 months ago. And then those 2 days passed and nothing happened. No one turned up. And they didn't give us any warning of anything. And then a week passed and we got hold of the shop. And it was like, well, what's going on? No one's come to fit the floor. And they went, oh, there's been a delay. The manufacturers can't supply the floor that we'd chosen. So we went down and we looked at the possibility of a different floor. But we didn't like any of the other ones. So we stayed with the original one. And they said the floor will be, it'll arrive and we'll come and fit it on the 6th of December. Now, at the time when they said that was 6 weeks away. So we was like, that's a long time. We was like, okay, no problem, we'll do that. So we'd moved the bedroom all downstairs, and we've been sleeping downstairs since then. Now, the 6th of December come along, and they said, oh, we ain't got the floor. Now, the floor's arrived today. So what's the date today? The 14th. Oh, my God. It's the 14th of December, and I haven't started Christmas shopping. It's because it doesn't get cold here. When it doesn't get cold, you don't realise it's Christmas. So yeah, it's the 14th of December, and they are finally today putting down the floor. So it arrived yesterday or the day before, and the guys come to actually fit it today. So during all of that time, the bedroom has been raw concrete. And it's like raw concrete is just so dusty. So my wife was ill, and then I was ill. And it's you wake up in the morning, even though our bedroom's downstairs, there's just the air is so dry because that floor's just absorbing all of the moisture. So we've kind of bought like one of them little machines that puffs out the little, I don't know what they're called. You put like a scent in it, and like a cloud of stuff comes out. Like a humidifier, that's what it is, a humidifier. So we bought one of those that we keep next to the bed to try and keep the air moist. But when you wake up in the morning, it's like your nose is completely dry and your throat's really dry. And it's been like that every day for the past couple of months since we've had this floor upstairs that's just raw concrete and a lot of dust. Everywhere is dusty. We're constantly trying to clean off dust, which is really not good. My laptop, the Xbox, all that stuff. But thankfully, today this all finishes. Now today this finishes, but starting on Monday, and I did need to warn you guys about this actually, because we're on the top floor, we have quite a big terrace, and the terrace leaks, so there's a problem with the tiles, and it leaks into the downstairs bedroom. So I had to replaster the ceiling. I had to do it a few weeks ago, and the problem is if it rains a lot for a few days and there's no sun, it will leak. Absolutely. In the living room and in the downstairs bedroom, it will leak. And it's starting to ruin those rooms. So it is very serious. But if it rains and then it's sunny, the rain that's sitting on the terrace just gets dried and it's fine. But the terrace has got like uneven tiles, so the water sits in puddles without going down the drain. So after it's been sitting in those puddles for a while, it just soaks through because they're not properly waterproof anymore. It's the same terrace that was down, I assume, from when the building was here, so it's probably about 8 years old. So we are getting the terrace waterproofed on Monday. So what they need to do, they need to come along and take up all the existing tiles. Now the tiles will be easy to take up. If you tap them, you knock them, you can hear the hollow sound. It's absolutely very clear that once you've smashed one or two, you're going to be able to get them up really easily. So they're going to take all the old ones up, take them away, and then all they're doing is putting down a waterproof layer. They're not putting any new tiles on top. They're just doing the waterproof layer, and it's bloody expensive just for this. But what we've then got to do is we've got to go and buy some tiles and pay somebody else to put the tiles down. Or I want to put them down, but my wife doesn't trust that I'll be able to do it properly. So, and to be fair, I would rather play games. So we're going to pay someone to do it, but we've got to buy. So it's a two-stage process. The first stage is the removing the tiles and putting the waterproof down. And once that waterproof down, that's delicate. If we drop anything on the terrace, it's going to break it and ruin it. So the next stage is then to put the tiles down. So on Monday, they're coming to do stage 1. So guess how long that's going to take, right? I thought maybe 2 days. 1 day to take up the old tiles and then 1 day to put down the new waterproof thing, right? They've quoted us for 18 days, right? 18 fucking days. And that's, right, this is 18 working days, not the weekend. So that's, right, 5, 10, 15 plus 3. It's almost 4 weeks of them doing this terrace. And during this time, it's going to be really dusty, it's going to be really noisy, and I'm not going to have much chance to make videos. Right, I think they're going to be doing it from 8 until 4, so fortunately after 4 o'clock I'm going to have some time. But I can't believe it's going to take them 18 days. It's insane. And I'm not exactly sure how the quote is calculated. Obviously there's a labour charge, and if they're here for a certain number of hours, we've got to pay for that certain number of hours. I couldn't believe it. Just 18 days. I'm convinced I could do it myself in 4 days. And if I've got someone helping me, I reckon I could do it in 2. I can't believe it's going to take 18 days. I don't know, where the hell did they get that number from? So that starts on Monday anyway. So if you see a drop in the number of videos that I'm able to upload, then that is the reason why. I just simply cannot create videos whilst all this stuff is going on. It's too loud, it's too dusty, there's men walking in and out, they're constantly coming and asking me questions. Obviously I have to host as well, so I have to make coffee and, you know, give them Coke or beer. I know I'm in Colombia, not that type of Coke, Coca-Cola. But I mean, that you're expected to do that. And then also, of course, you kind of have to keep an eye on people as well. I mean, I am so trusting of everybody. So if there's a workman here, I just let them get on with it. But my wife doesn't want me to do that. She wants me to be in the vicinity that they are, to keep an eye on them so they're not stealing some of her jewellery or anything like that. So she's very cautious about everybody all the time. But that's the way you are when you've grown up in this country, because there's a lot of crime in this country. But I'm overly trusting of everybody, and I'm just like, how do you want your coffee? Back in a second. Do you have everything you'll need? Okay, see you in about 5 hours. That's the way I deal with it. Now, at the moment, the guy's upstairs doing the floor, but the cleaner's here also, and also my wife's dad is also here. He's in another room. He's got work to do on his computer, so he's just sitting around working on his computer. Now, the reason he has come over is because the guy who's doing the floor doesn't understand any English whatsoever, and my Spanish isn't, it's okay, but it's not good enough to be able to, talk about things that I might need to talk about with him. So my father-in-law is doing that for me. So anyway, that's what's going on in my life at the moment. And to make matters worse, my wife wants a dog for Christmas. It's just, oh no. It's like, okay. Right, she goes to work for 11 hours a day. Right, she leaves here, no, more than 11 hours a day. She leaves here at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she doesn't come back in until 8 at night. So she's at work for 13 hours every day, 5 days a week. She loves her job. She's successful at it. It's what... she's very motivated to do what she does, and it drives her, and she's ambitious, and yeah, I'm really, really proud of her, but she just worked for a ridiculous number of hours. And if we've got a dog, it's not her dog, it's my dog. So yeah, I like dogs, I like cats, but I kind of don't really want one when I live on the top floor of an apartment building. It's just, I really don't. I only really want a dog when I've got like a really nice big garden that it can run around in all the time and be outside and stuff like that. I don't think our terrace is sufficient for this, especially if it jumped off. That'd be a nightmare. But actually, one of our friends, she lives on the 12th floor of an apartment, and she's got I don't like it when people have indoor cats. I don't think it's right. One of the things I used to do, not really as a living, so I didn't get paid for it, I did it for free, but when people went on holiday, I used to live in their house, just working on my computer whilst looking after their animals. And I used to do that a lot, because I can work from anywhere. I work from my computer, and I really like animals, so it was kind of a win-win situation. I got to stay in some really beautiful houses that I couldn't possibly afford, looking after someone's animals that were real company for me whilst just working on my laptop. And I used to do healing on animals as well, so it was very beneficial to them. If their animal was sick, when they came back off holiday, normally it was fixed. But sometimes I'd look after someone's animals that were indoor animals, like an indoor cat, and you could just tell there wasn't something quite right about them. And yeah, I think it sent them a little bit mental. But anyway, my friend here in Colombia has a cat that's an indoor cat, and she lives on the 12th floor. And the cat jumped out of the window and fell 12 stories to the floor onto a pavement, not onto anything soft like grass or a hedge. It fell onto the actual hard pavement. And she went down and got it, and it was completely fine. Now, this cat, it's a really, really small cat. It weighs bloody nothing, but he's the fluffiest cat in the world. When you go around a house, you get covered in cat hair. So it's like a cloud, and I think that is what saved its life. I mean, my cat that I had back in England, Gary, is named after Gary the snail from SpongeBob SquarePants, because Gary the snail meows. So Gary is a ginger tomcat, a really big one with very short fur. He's a bloody big cat. And when you hold it, he's heavy, very heavy. If he fell out of the window, he would be had it. And he is the clumsiest cat ever. If he tries to jump up something, he'll mess it up, and he gets really embarrassed as well. Like, we used to have a ball that got like a weight in it, so when you rolled it, it kind of rolled in a wiggly line, and it confused him. And he would try and get it, but he would miss it. And then he would kind of pretend that he was washing himself because he was embarrassed that you saw that he didn't get the ball. But he used to get really, really embarrassed all the time. But anyway, guys, I'm going off on tangents as usual. I'm now going to close down the video, go and deal with normal daily things. And hopefully I should be able to get some videos done for you a little bit later if the guy finishes off the floor. And other than that, don't normally have much chance over the weekend, so I'll be seeing you guys on Monday. You take care and have an awesome day. And I'm really, really sorry if I didn't get a chance to get down to your comments. But hopefully next time. See you all soon. Oh my goodness. I might have to edit that bit off the end. And I'm not going to. It'd take too long to process. Right, I'll see all you guys soon. You take care and have an awesome day. Bye-bye.